Unanimous, we promote boxing. Wednesday night fights brought to you by sportsbetting.ag, right here on ProBoxTV.com, or if you are watching on our ProBox TV YouTube channel, we say thank you. We also welcome all our viewers watching tonight on Fubo TV, Canela, Fox Deportes, and Rogers Sportsnet in Canada. We get things started with a 4-round matchup in the welterweight division. Vershaun Lee of Davenport, Iowa, fights Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez of Veracruz, Mexico. Then we move to an 8-round altercation in the welterweight division. 11-0 Kelvin Davis looks to remain unbeaten, moved to 12-0 as a pro, and 4-0 here on ProBox TV as he battles fellow southpaw Mario Lozano from Argentina. Our co-main event is scheduled for 10 rounds, also in the welterweight division, as Luke Santamaria battles the Dominican, raised in Puerto Rico, Nicklaus Flaz, whose last 3 opponents have had a combined record of 38-0. And our 10-round main event is for the WBA Continental North America light heavyweight title. 28-2 Hot Rod Radivoje Kalajdzic, the former IBF light heavyweight world championship challenger, takes on 22-4 Sullivan Barrera, the former WBA light heavyweight world championship contender. Hi again, everybody. I'm Mike Goldberg, of course, joined every other Wednesday, by my powerful partners, the former 2-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. Guys, you've talked about this main event, and I want to make a comparison to the dominant era of Tiger Woods. So many golfers would have won a major or 2 or 3 or 4 if it weren't for Tiger Woods. For these 2 men in our main event, the 2 guys with a B have gotten in their way. Beterbiev and Bivol.
Yeah, you know what, Goldie, it's been quite a ride for these guys. You know, they've been perennial contenders in the light heavyweight division, among the best in the world. But in a division that is this deep, and we've seen it at times with some other guys in some other weight classes, they come around, they have the championship medal, but you have championship level fighters that are elite in their weight class, and just even the best won't beat those kind of guys. And that's the kind of problem that Radivoje has had and Sullivan Barrera has had in their careers. They've been perennial world level contenders, but Beterbiev and Bivol are in this weight class.
But just below, and that's why this is such an interesting matchup. You have 2 guys who are just below the elite. Literally, Beterbiev and Bivol are pound-for-pound guys in the entire world in every weight class, and these poor guys have to deal with them in that weight class. So.
And for me, that's the reason they haven't become world champions.
Correct.
In an otherwise normal weight class, not even average, in an normal weight class where world champions always exist, these guys would have won a world title. It's going to be an interesting matchup tonight.
Chris, you've said it before. You believe Sullivan Barrera, your old roommate, is one of the best boxers ever not to own a world championship belt.
Yeah, in recent memory, absolutely. I mean, he's got a very deep amateur background, comes from the Cuban school, grew up in Cuba, was training literally since birth, came here, beat some really tough guys along the way, beat Joe Smith before Joe Smith was a world champion in this weight class. So that shows you how close Sullivan Barrera was to being a world champion, or could be. And with a win here tonight, he's got another shot.
And for Hot Rod, he got re-injuvenated, Paulie, on our air. He's a decade younger than Sullivan, and you've mentioned before he's got to push the pace.
Decade younger, but of course he also needs to make some moves here. You know, he looked a little bit average in his last win here on ProBox TV, but he's been a guy who's been an elite level contender. You know, he for all intents and purposes, a lot of people thought he beat Marcus Brown. He came up short against Beterbiev, but then again, everybody's come up short against Beterbiev. You know, he's right there. He needs one good performance, and a guy with the name of Sullivan Barrera, the reputation of Sullivan Barrera. Barrera's a little bit on the old side. Never been a world champion, been a world amateur champion.
Yes, world amateur champion.
But you know what? He's looking for that one last charge in the pros to become a world champion. These guys right here, they're probably at a crossroads for each other. The winner may get a shot because the light heavyweight division is moving. We're in a light heavyweight division that, unlike some of the other weight classes where the top guys aren't fighting, the top guys here are fighting. So these guys are fighting. That means the winner of this fight gets into that mix, and the weight class keeps moving. You might wind up in the title fight.
Can't wait. wait till those guys meet in June, Beterbiev and Bivol.
Absolutely, and when you have that logjam at the top with guys that are just at a different level, you know, the number 1 and 2 is a far cry from number 3 and 4, and you know that happens in weight classes at certain times. You need those guys to fight to open up some opportunities for these guys to come up.
And Luke Santamaria and Nicklaus Flaz in our co-main event, and I can stay with my golf theme because Nicklaus Flaz's father named him after the great Jack Nicklaus. So we're staying with that, and we're getting ready for some boxing here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV, as we begin, as promised, with a 4-round matchup. It is Vershaun Lee against Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez. 23-year-old from Iowa against the 26-year-old from Mexico. Lee, 4 inches taller. He will have a significant reach advantage. We are set to get things started. And with the official introductions for our first fight of the night, here is Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the ProBox TV Event Center in beautiful Plant City, Florida. We are about to begin our first fight of the televised evening with a 4-rounder in the welterweight division. Your judges this evening, Brian Gary, Shed O'Connor, and Braden Jackson. And the third man in the ring is your referee, Massimo Montanini. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the burgundy trunks, weighing in at 144.6 pounds. He is a veteran of 4 professional fights from Veracruz, Mexico. Please welcome Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, wearing the blue and white trunks. He weighed in at 143.8 pounds. He is undefeated in his young professional career. His record, 1 win with no losses and 1 win by knockout. From Davenport, Iowa, please welcome Vershaun Lee.
Ok, I started with him before Spanish. Okay, tiene que respetar la regla y él, okay? Respect the rules and respect each other, okay? Touch him up. Next. Thank you, sir.
Ready to get things started on a Wednesday night here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez against Vershaun Lee. Fight scheduled for 4 rounds.
Hey, hey.
Here we go. It's time to fight. Vershaun Lee, blue and white trunks. Fernando Vega Sanchez. That would be Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez in the burgundy and black trunks. Both men early in their professional careers. Extensive amateur pedigree for Vershaun Lee.
Sanchez, one of those guys, you got to look past the numbers. His record, obviously not very impressive, 0-3-1. But I've watched some video. He can fight.
He did fight in a preliminary matchup back in August of last year. Fought to a draw against Dante Concepcion here inside our world headquarters, the ProBox TV Event Center.
I mean, you know what? He's doing the job that a guy like him is supposed to do. He's keeping Vershaun Lee working. He's keeping Vershaun Lee thinking. And he's pressing Vershaun Lee. He's making him a little uncomfortable. And he's forcing Vershaun Lee to use the repertoire, which is, you know, obviously with the high Vershaun Lee and the athleticism he has, is going to come off the jab. But he's forcing him to work. That's why you kind of need these kind of opponents early in your career in order to get that learning phase and that learning experience. Plus, champ, as you said, Sanchez is a bit better than your typical 0-3 that you see.
6-week training camp for Vershaun Lee in Rock Island, Illinois.
No holding.
There's islands in Illinois?
Well, it's considered Rock Island because it's in the Quad Cities, the border of Illinois and Iowa.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if there are any islands. There's a lot of Great Lakes.
Yeah.
The landlocked island.
I know there's a lot of lakes, but no islands in the state of Minnesota, Paulie.
Yeah.
About 10,000 of them.
Cold, too.
Very cold.
Lee's starting to find his jab now. A little earlier, he was aiming a little too high. Sanchez doing a good job of changing levels on his way in, albeit awkwardly.
Yeah, Chris, he was throwing it out there, but he just wasn't connecting with it. And as you mentioned, nice body shot. Now he's finding the range.
That's one way to deter a guy who's hard-nosed the way Sanchez is. Bang that body early.
Stop.
Yeah, you need to slow down that pressure, too, because Sanchez really hasn't, in that first minute especially, it didn't really look like he was doubting himself pressing. Now he's kind of slowed down, and it's allowing Lee to be able to pick some shots here.
Yeah, Lee's already made some adjustments. Lowered his aim on those jabs. He's going to the body with that right hand hard and often now.
Fight contracted at 145 pounds. Scheduled for 4. Ooh, heavy shots. Great audio inside the ring tonight.
Nice exchange between these two.
There's that length of Vershaun Lee.
Thank you, sir. Oh, you are very fast, eh?
Hey, give me the spit bucket. Church, the spit bucket. Get some water.
Vershaun Lee trained by his uncle, Ramsey VC. Marco Fazzini in the corner of Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez. Round 2. Blue and white trunks for 23-year-old Vershaun Lee. Burgundy and black for 26-year-old Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez. Fight is scheduled for 4.
This is one of those fights where a prospect like Lee can work on his understanding and control of the ring as far as distance. You know, he's a guy you can see works off athleticism, likes to fight at that middle to long range. This is the kind of, and you got a pressure fighter in front of you. So this is one of those fights where you can actually work on understanding how to maintain that pressure and allowing moments like this to be fewer further between, because better opponents will want to get inside and be able to do more damage than a guy like Sanchez. Sanchez gives you the effort, but he also gives you the opportunity to work on those kind of things. So that's the thing you're looking for with Lee, is how much is he able to control that real estate game and not allow Sanchez to be in his wheelhouse.
Doing much better here in round 2, keeping that length. Lee's tall for the weight class. You know, at the end of the round, he was able to step away, stay at that mid-distance, keep Sanchez on the outside. But man, Sanchez is dogged. He's really working his way inside, trying to pump that jab.
Yeah, and even the little level changes you mentioned earlier in the first round, champ. You know, he tries to sometimes drop that level and rush in. There he goes again, and trying to get in there.
But you can see Lee is starting to time him as he's making those dips side to side. Lee just landed a good right hand upstairs. One of the best punches upstairs that he's landed so far tonight.
Vershaun Lee just made his professional debut a little bit over a month ago on February 10th in his hometown of Davenport, Iowa. Back right away, hoping to move to 2-0 here in his ProBox TV debut. He said, I just want a nice performance. I want to look sharp. I'll take the knockout, but I won't force it. Loves that left hook, the overhand right. He did win his pro debut with a second-round finish.
Rick!
Both guys giving that effort tonight. You know, both guys getting the night's work in.
That jab from Sanchez snaps the head of Lee back.
I like how Lee is staying calm. You know, he's got a guy who's putting a lot of pressure on him.
Oh, clash
heads there, bad one. But Lee is not getting deterred. He's going back to the game plan, finding that range, getting back to the jab.
Left hand connects for Vega Sanchez. 30 seconds on the clock, round number 2.
Nice angle there by Lee as he lands 2 shots, slides out to his left.
One thing I like to start seeing from Lee, he's starting to get the timing. Good shot there from Sanchez. Starting to get the timing of Sanchez. You want to maybe hold your ground and sit on one of those counter punches instead of keeping it moving.
This is where a guy like Sanchez is dangerous. Once he can land something,
Confidence.
gets that confidence up, starts to feel a little more comfortable, and it's going to then make you uncomfortable.
Good round at the end. You got a little cut up there.
When you get inside, Luke,
Tell them don't stay on the right, same thing. I need them to up jab. Eso. Cuando entrar, necesito explosivo. Mira.
We see some of that action from the last round here. Both guys digging, like you said, Champ. They're really going for it. Both men willing to stand and trade on the inside. And there's that big overhand shot from Sanchez.
You see a come up, a lazy, almost ignorant right hand thrown by Lee, moving to his left with his left hand down, kind of just flips out that right hand very lazily. And even against a guy who's 0-3 like Sanchez, if they give you the effort, you'll pay for those kind of shots. So again, these are learning fights for a prospect like Lee. He's being made to work. Sanchez is a solid opponent for a second pro fight.
You know, Lee was coming up short with that jab in round 1, and it made him a little bit hesitant to throw it in round 2. You saw him pawing with it more as you see him doing it right here. That's going to allow Sanchez for overhand shots and hooks to go around that jab if it's lazy.
And the only reason you should be pawing is if you're trying to set up a power shot behind it, you know, where you're trying to measure that. I never understand guys who just kind of paw just for the sake of pawing, because then you allow the opponent to come over the top of you and start to really press you. The only time you should be really pawing with a shot is if you're looking to set up a hard shot behind it.
Double jab from Vershaun Lee. As I mentioned, his uncle is his head trainer, and his cousin, former two-division world champion, 58-4 record, Michael Nunn.
Wow. His cousin?
Yep.
Wow, yeah.
All right.
It's good family lineage, isn't it?
Similar body type, too, actually, if you really think about it.
Family. Nunn was at one time top pound-for-pound fighter in the world. I mean, slick southpaw.
Absolutely. Lee, 2021 National Golden Gloves champ, Paulie.
Yeah, well, you know, it comes to that pedigree, man.
You got that right.
Well, and Nunn also one of the best nicknames in boxing history as well. Second to.
Yep.
Second to none.
And other than 4 times, it was very true, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was scary because he was slick and he could punch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that knockout he had of Colombe. Sumbu Colombe was a very popular fighter in Italy. Man, Nunn smoked him.
Talked about the amateur pedigree of Vershaun Lee. He fought Andy Cruz as an amateur. Andy Cruz, the 2020 lightweight gold medalist at the Tokyo Olympic Games. Lee's also sparred with Olympic silver medalist Keyshawn Davis. Keyshawn's brother Kelvin Davis coming up next here on ProBox TV.
Watch out, guys. Sanchez getting closer and closer. He's landed a couple right hands this round. As you see, Lee, his technique starting to fail him a little bit.
No punch.
As we're getting later into this 4-rounder.
Sanchez starting to read his movements way better, isn't he, Chris?
Yeah, I think that, honestly, Lee's just getting a little less sharp as the round. There it is again.
That same leaping right hand.
That's the exact same punch he landed last round. He's cutting off Lee.
Going in the same direction with his left hand down. Something Sanchez has seen. That's what I mean. Sanchez kind of picks up data himself.
I told you, this kid could fight, man. You got to look past the numbers on ProBox TV. And notice he's doing a good job cutting off the ring as well as Sanchez. Sidestepping. He's not following Lee. He's looking to land that right hand. He's punching. He's anticipating well and punching to where Lee's going.
Sanchez at 0-3 cuts off the ring better than some contenders.
Some world champions nowadays.
that mistake made by Lee, and there is again moving over to his left, up high with his left hand down. You see that again, almost like he thought a straight right hand was coming, and he's looking to parry it. Puts his hand down right as the hook comes, and ends up opening himself up for it as he's moving in that direction.
Very similar to the way he was caught with that same punch, Paulie, in round number 2.
Absolutely.
Mistakes like that can haunt you, not only in the same fight, but later on if you can't adjust them.
Right. 4th and final round for this welterweight matchup to get things started on ProBox TV's Wednesday Night Fights, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag. Vershaun Lee, blue and white trunks, burgundy and black, for Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez, looking for his first win as a professional.
Trying to little Mike Tyson, you see Sanchez.
Man, talk about effort from Sanchez. We talked about also his building of his confidence. He's had 2 good rounds in a row. Was able to land some shots.
Does Lee need this round to get to secure a win? Could Sanchez eke out a draw here if he wins this round?
I don't know if I would necessarily give Sanchez both those rounds. The last round was better than the second, but
he's gone the 4-round distance in all 4 of his professional fights, has Sanchez. 2 losses by unanimous decision, 1 a majority decision in the draw I mentioned earlier. Last time he was here on ProBox TV.
Lee has to get back on his jab. I mean, he's fighting the kind of fight that just gives Sanchez not only an opportunity, but confidence, because this is the kind of fight Sanchez likes to fight.
Yeah, and
Lee has to command that real estate.
Conditioning's looking like an issue, though.
Yeah, falling in with that right hand.
Yep.
I mean, maintain that distance and shoot that jab. Use those feints, use that jab. There's different ways to maintain that real estate. Winning his real estate battle is so important, champ.
As a fellow tall guy, I'll tell you, when you get tired, the first thing to go is your legs. You start seeing a guy falling in. You start seeing a guy not being able to evade as quickly or be as explosive with the lower half, even if he's punching well upstairs.
Yeah, but there's ways you can almost con your way through it, where you feint, you change levels, you shoot that snappy jab. You almost can sort of trick your opponent into fighting the pace you want to fight.
Hard to do that in your second pro fight sometimes, though.
And I tell you, what it's also hard to do that? The Mexicans, you wake up. When you wake up those Mexicans, man, once they decide they're in a fight, they ain't stopping, man. It's a Mexican fighter mentality.
You also got to think about Sanchez, man. He's looking for his first win.
Yep.
So, he's spurred on now.
Yeah, it's true, too.
Nagara.
Former National Golden Glove champion in front of him. That would be a big win for him.
Absolutely. Runner-up at the 2023 U.S. Olympic Trials. December of last year, and under a minute remaining in this fight.
Oh, cut an angle there from Sanchez. Nice little rips and uppercut. You mentioned the Mike Tyson-esque punches. There you go.
Now, you see Lee here is too smothering his own self. He's trying to pin Sanchez on the ropes.
He's trying to just stem the tide at this point, because Sanchez is really pouring it on this 4th round. Ooh, good right hand there from Lee. Not the place you want to be when you've got a 4 or 5 inch height and reach advantage on somebody.
Sanchez has done a really nice job at taking that reach away from Vershaun Lee.
And he keeps leading with the right hand, allowing himself to fall in. And it's like, why would you lead with the right hand? Just use that jab.
Back. Go back.
A little slippery step around there from Lee on the inside. Yeah,
Final
right to that right hand.
Fight.
Ooh, good body work.
Lead right lands. They go the distance.
Little late hit there.
They go the distance in another 1.2 seconds.
Okay.
So will Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez earn his first professional win, or will that man, Vershaun Lee, move to 2-0?
Goldie, I'm very impressed with your commitment to saying his entire name all night. That's impressive.
Or could it be a draw?
I don't know the name.
Could be a draw.
It was the last time Luis Fernando Vega Sanchez was here. With a Brazilian in my household, I'm used to 5, 6, 7 names.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a piece of cake for you then.
Exactly. Early on, Lee tried to establish that jab, guys.
You all right, my friend?
Yeah, it was a lot of staying at distance, using that jab. Beautiful right hands to the body early on from Lee. His class was really starting to show in rounds 1 and 2. But Sanchez, man, that doggedness, you see that right hand over the top, started to time Lee well as he was trying to evade and move out with his left hand down. Sanchez was consistently able to find that right hand, especially the looping one over the top, which is what you want to do when you're fighting a taller fighter who's moving out. There we saw it again. Consistently landing that right hand in rounds 3 and 4 was Sanchez. And round 4, man, Sanchez was all gas, no brakes, coming forward, being physical, making it rough, pushing the pace all the way through, and a little bit after the bell, too.
It's in the hands of the judges now. Will it be number 1 for Vega Sanchez or number 2 for Vershaun Lee? With the official decision, Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, how about another round of applause for these warriors? After 4 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards. Judge Jed O'Connor and Braden Jackson both score this bout 39-37. And Judge Brian Gary scores this bout 40-36 for your winner by unanimous decision. And still undefeated, Vershaun Lee.
Vershaun Lee, in just over a month's time, has moved to 2-0 in his young professional career.
They're booing Lee out of the ring. Right?
Yeah, crowd's not liking that.
Sanchez has fought here now twice, fought in Orlando and Tampa, so I think there might be a few more Sanchez fans here tonight. Nonetheless, Vershaun Lee, winner by unanimous decision. Great main event tonight on Wednesday Night Fights here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV. Radivoje Kalajdzic and Sullivan Barrera, both men have been at the top of the ladder and either were knocked off by Beterbiev or Bivol. Both men would like another shot at becoming a world champion at 175 pounds. Born in Cuba, training in Miami, Sullivan Barrera is with Beatriz Calise.
Estoy aquí con Sullivan Barrera. I'm here with Sullivan Barrera. Quiero hacerte una pregunta. Hoy es una noche muy importante para ti. ¿Qué significa una victoria para tu carrera?
Una victoria significaría todo, volver a los planos estelares como en años anteriores, y esa es la meta, ese es el objetivo principal.
It's a very important night for me. A victory would mean a lot for my career, and he's going with everything. He waits for him to get his victory. Sullivan, ¿a qué le dedicas tu pelea?
A mis hijos, a mis 3 hijos principalmente, a mi esposa, a mi familia, a la gente, al pueblo cubano que siempre me ha apoyado. Estamos aquí de regreso y vamos a dar lo mejor de.
He dedicates his fights to his family and to the Cuban people. Por último, ¿qué opinas de tu oponente? What do you think about your opponent?
No, yo respeto, siempre he dicho en todas mis entrevistas, respeto a todos los oponentes. Hay que tener un gran coraje para subirse al ring, y nosotros nos conocemos, hemos trabajado en años anteriores, y nada, el ring dirá la última palabra.
He respects his opponents. They worked together before, and he's working very hard for his victory tonight. Gracias, y te deseamos las mejores de la suerte. No olviden de seguirnos en ProBox TV.
Our main event later tonight, Kaladjzic and Barrera. Right now we're going to step away here on your boxing channel, come back and get ready for some more great fights. A lot of local flavor here tonight. Wednesday night fights on ProBox TV. Just down the road in Tampa, we have Hot Rod back for the second time. He will fight later in our main event of the evening. It's a big fight at 175 for two men who've knocked on the door and would like to kick it in soon.
What does he have to do to win this fight? It's kind of odd because he's fighting a guy who hasn't fought in 2.5 years, so you don't know exactly what Barrera has left.
Yeah, but Kaladjzic himself hasn't really sparkled as far as his schedule is concerned either, right? I mean, there's a reason why he's not ranked himself. So he's got to come in and try to basically impose his youth and impose a pace on Sullivan. Hot Rod can make things uncomfortable for you. He can be a bit awkward at times. I'd say, try to get into not so much into the head of the older guy, because it's hard to get into the head of an older guy, as an older guy kind of has seen everything, but make it uncomfortable for him. And there's various ways you can make it uncomfortable for an older guy, in terms of pace, in terms of keeping him overthinking, in terms of just making him feel that heat. Because as we get older, we have less and less of a desire to be in that super, super tough fight. When we're young, we kind of rise to the occasion of being in a super tough fight. We kind of relish it and look forward to it. Sullivan obviously still fighting for a reason. He feels like a key win, like the win right here, will put him in a big position. But maybe make him feel what it's like. Remind him what it's like. Because at 42 years old, Sullivan Barrera, who hasn't been active, and like George said, lost 3 of his last 4. Granted, too, he's fought some pretty good opposition. But nonetheless, Kaladjzic is also good opposition.
2.5 years is a long time out of the ring, and he's 42 years old, so there's no doubt he's got a ton of experience, but Father Time doesn't usually lose.
We will find out. That is our main event later tonight. Wednesday night fights on your boxing channel. Set for an 8-rounder in the welterweight division. Our tail of the tape for this matchup. Kelvin Davis is back, looking to move to 4-0 here on ProBox TV. 2 years younger than Argentina's Mario Lozano, a fellow southpaw, taking this fight on short notice. Davis is taller, and he will have about a 7-inch reach advantage. Once again, here is Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Your next bout of the evening is scheduled for 8 rounds in the welterweight division. Your judges for this fight: Tito Wilgo, Brian Gary, and Ched O'Connor. And your referee in charge, Frank Gentile. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing the black and white trunks. He weighed in at 143.2 pounds. His record: 18 wins, 12 losses, 1 draw, with 9 wins by knockout. From 25 de Mayo, Buenos Aires, Argentina, please welcome Mario Lozano. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the silver and blue trunks. He weighed in at 143.2 pounds. He is undefeated. His record: 11 wins with no losses and 6 wins by knockout. From Norfolk, Virginia, please welcome Kelvin Davis.
You got your instructions in the dressing room. Anything below here, I'm going to call. Okay? Listen to my command. Stop breaking box. When I say break, step back clean. Keep your hands up at all times. Any questions? Any questions? Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
This one's scheduled for 8, southpaw against southpaw. Kelvin Davis, the eldest of the DB3, against Mario Lozano. 18 victories, 9 of those by knockout. Here we go. It's time to fight. Silver and blue trunks for Davis. Comes right out, trying to establish himself in the center of the ring. Fellow southpaw from Argentina, Lozano, in the black and white trunks.
Push his head up. Keep your head up.
Another very tall fighter for his weight class, Chris Algieri.
Yeah, and rarely you're going to see a stark difference in height and reach like we have in front of us right here. I think you'd mentioned a 6.5, 7-inch reach advantage for the young Davis. 6'1", 143-pounder, man. That's a very tall junior welterweight.
Yeah, and Lozano listed at 5'7", but he's probably more like 5'5", man.
He's given the NFL WWE height.
They were kind of generous on that. He might be even shorter in real life than he is on paper in this fight.
Doing the Muggsy Bogues.
Yeah.
Scheduled for 8, Davis has finished 2 of his 3 fights here at ProBox TV. Went the distance in his last matchup, December of last year, against Clarence Booth.
Oh! Big overhand left from Lozano.
He put all 5'5" into that one.
And that's,
sorry, Chris, a fight that you guys both talked about that Kelvin didn't show up as decorated and as polished, maybe dialed in as we had expected him to.
Yeah, I mean, he had a tough out in front of him. Clarence Booth is a tough guy with a lot of experience. It was a step up, and I think it was a little bit early for Kelvin. You know, he had the box on his back foot for the last couple of rounds. Had to show his gas tank a little bit because he had someone who was a hard charger all night long. But yeah, who definitely failed to impress in that last outing.
Yeah, I think that's why I think they took a step back with the level of opposition tonight. But just to kind of, you know, go see where Kelvin's head is at after that win, which is a good win, but nonetheless, he struggled to get it.
Yeah.
And like you said, Champ probably took a step too far in his progression a little too quickly. It's always good when you can get a learning experience and get a win, though. And we'll see how he looks against Lozano tonight. He's controlling the ring so far, but that big left hand is probably the biggest punch in the round that Lozano landed.
Lozano stepping in on a week's notice for 19-2 Dennis Castillo. Davis just wants to improve on the performance, as both of you guys have pointed out from the last time we saw him. And of course, Chris, you have shared the ring with Clarence Booth, so you know how tricky and rugged he can be.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's definitely, like I said, he's a tough out. And for someone with only 10 or 11 fights, that's a big ask.
10 seconds.
Approaching the end of round number 1. Davis fighting long so far. Lozano trying to get inside.
Time.
Hey, when he said, huh? No, you had the fucking hand down. When you went to throw a punch, you had the other.
Get me in trouble.
¿Cómo nos sentimos?
One big one landed.
Yeah, actually, right before this happened, I was going to say Kelvin was doing a good job going down to the body against a smaller man because he is a last-minute replacement. But one thing, when you go down to the body, especially as a taller guy, you leave your head open. And right there, Lozano took that shot, landed a beautiful big overhand left.
Yeah, he tried to lead with a body shot there, and that's not always easy to do unless you have your guy already completely gun-shy. It was a bit too early in round 1 for Lozano to have been that gun-shy. You got to first kind of put him in his place and make him believe he can't win the fight. Once you get a guy that kind of gun-shy, then you open up some other punching avenues for yourself.
Well, Lozano now, I mean, he's not going to be gun-shy from here on out. He landed a big shot like that. He's feeling himself again.
Yeah, and that's the thing. When you have opponents like that, you know, they may not come in with full belief, but you give them a reason to believe, and they'll kind of hang around more. He's been looking for that same left hand ever since he landed it.
Kelvin Davis, silver and blue trunks. He is 11-0. Mario Lozano, 18 victories, 9 finishes in the black and white trunks. Round 2, this one's scheduled for 8.
And listen, 31 fights is 31 fights.
Yeah.
So, you know, he's no newbie out there. He found that shot. He's going to keep going back to that pot. Let's see if Kelvin could take advantage.
Mario Lozano, a police officer in his home country of Argentina, fighting in the United States for the 11th time in his professional career tonight.
One thing about Kelvin, man, he's got to figure out a way to open up the opposition for clean punches landed. You know, a lot of what Kelvin Davis is throwing Yeah, it's landing, but it's like kind of partially landing, kind of on the gloves. Got to maybe get in between shots of Lozano, or maybe use some throwaway punches to then create openings to set up harder punches landed. If you really watch it, what Davis lands, good body shots there. He lands the occasional good body shot, even if it's on the arms. Those are always at least decent. But he doesn't really land anything clean if you really look at it. And that doesn't really show a capability to open up an opponent until he can hit him cleanly.
Well, I mean, one way to open up an opponent is use your jab, and that's one thing that the 74-inch reach Kelvin Davis is not really using with any kind of authority yet.
After that last fight, Chris, your question was, what have they worked on with Bo Mack in his corner, his trainer, Brian McIntyre, Kelvin Davis? And you said, Paulie, that Kelvin must show more control of the ring and more presence, which is what you just alluded to a moment ago.
Well, yeah, against an opponent like this, you're going to be able to show your presence and take over the ring, and he's done that in a fight like in tonight's fight. I mean, Lozano is not a guy who's really going to control the ring on you. He's an opponent, you know, not coming in with really the most winningest of mentalities unless you give him an opportunity to get confident. But again, this is sort of a confidence builder fight, you know, a little step down after the Clarence Booth fight for Davis. But nonetheless, you still want to be able to work on things that will make you better, that you can take into that next step up that you may have.
Southpaw against southpaw. Lozano looking for that punch again. Swing and miss. 20 seconds on the clock. Round number 2. Body shot from Kelvin Davis.
Yeah, one thing Kelvin is doing in this fight, which he wasn't able to do in the last fight against Booth, was control the center of the ring. And when you've got kind of height and reach that Kelvin has,
They are counting it. Knockdown
7.
Right before the bell.
Spinning at the mouthpiece, not a good sign.
You okay? Walk here. You okay?
This might be it.
It is all over. Kelvin Davis finishes Mario Lozano.
And you notice where I think as soon as Davis decided to step on the gas a little bit, you get a guy like this out of there. This is a guy who took a fight on 1 week's notice, came in on a little bit of a losing streak. You just got to put him where his head is already at. You got to show him he doesn't belong. I thought Davis was kind of being a little too patient against an opponent like this. But once he stepped on the gas, he showed his superiority. Before that, it was almost like he was playing with his food. And you never want to do that, because that's why he got hit with an overhand left in the first round. You don't want to play with your food too much in boxing.
We know what the adjustment was. He started letting his hand go in combination. Before that, it was all one punch, one punch, one punch. And then he said, all right, you know what, this guy's not going to go with one. Let me just let my hands go. And as soon as he did, the fight was over.
It's almost like he decided to literally beat him up.
Yeah.
All right, you know what, let me just beat this guy up.
Kelvin Davis finishes the fight right at the end of round number 2.
Yeah, watch how he started showing up with Champ. He made the point. He started putting shots together. Saw the couple, 2-3 shots before that to put him on the ropes. Again, not everything was landing clean, but then all of a sudden, when it comes in bunches, it can be overwhelming. A lot of this isn't landing, but look, Lozano already sudden feels overwhelmed. And again, he's not coming in with the winning mentality, so he's not really showing up to win to begin with. All you got to do is kind of glide him into his place. Lozano came in as an opponent tonight. I mean, he's not coming in on winning mentality. He's on a losing streak coming into tonight. This is a fight that you took a step back from the Clarence Booth fight. You just got to show him in his place. You see that replay. Not even most of those shots didn't land cleanly.
I think he actually was hurt before that.
He might have been hurt maybe from a body shot.
No, he keeps rubbing on his jaw and his mouth, and it seemed like he said something about his teeth. So I think it was a shot before that.
I don't know, but nonetheless, yeah. I mean, there's a little cut. I mean, I pick up my lip and I got cut like that. I don't know, bro. I don't believe Lozano wanted to be there. It was just up to Davis to realize that and just put him where he allow him to go where he wanted to go.
Yeah, like you said, once he decided I'm going to beat this guy up, and the heat started to put on Lozano.
It was like when they told Happy Gilmore the ball wants to go home and send it home. Lozano wanted to go home, bro. Just send him home. And once Kelvin Davis decided he's going to send him home, that's what he did. Once he made that choice.
Happy Gilmore. Yeah. Reference, Paul.
I'm the movie guy, you know?
Yes, you are. Happy Gilmore could fight, but he really couldn't skate, so he became a golfer.
Yeah.
At least on TV. So Kelvin Davis moves to 12-0, scores his 7th finish, and to make it official, let's get it back to Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 minutes of the second round, referee Frank Gentile stopped this bout for your winner by technical knockout and still undefeated, Kelvin Night Davis.
International moves to 4-0 with 3 finishes here on ProBox TV. Congratulations to Kelvin Davis. Don't forget, our main event is a good one at 175 pounds. Radivoje Kalajdzic and Sullivan Barrera. Earlier, we visited with the Cuban. Now it is time to visit with the man from Serbia, who now calls St. Petersburg, Florida, home. Once again, here is Beatrice.
Hello, guys. This is Beatrice Callis, and I'm here with Hot Rod Kalajdzic. Hot Rod, what are you bringing tonight for the main event of the evening here at ProBox TV?
I'm bringing speed, power, and just a great boxing show. Just make sure everybody tunes in, and there's going to be an exciting fight.
I mean, the 175 has a lot of important names, and you already fought Beterbiev. Who would you like to fight next if you win?
Anybody in the top 10, Yarde, Bivol, just anybody in the top 10. I think I'm ready for it, for a big fight after this one.
What do you think are the keys for the victory tonight?
Just be myself, be loose, box smart, be patient, and it's going to come, the win or the knockout.
Thank you so much, and don't forget to follow us on ProBox TV.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hot Rod wants to put on a show here tonight. They're both eyeing a matchup in June between Beterbiev and Bivol. One man may take a step closer to a potential second opportunity to become a world champion with a victory in our main event later tonight here on ProBox TV. Up next, our co-main event is Nicklaus Flaz and Luke Santamaria. Should be a good one. Welcome to Wednesday Night Fights here on your boxing channel, ProBox TV, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag with my powerful partners, the former 2-time world champion, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, former world champion, Chris Algieri. All right, Anthony Joshua scored a very quick knockout over the weekend. A lot has been talked about with Francis. You guys have already talked about it a lot, but I'd like you to talk about it a little bit more now, Chris.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can talk about it. Listen, Anthony Joshua's back, man. I mean, he has been active. He's been one of the most active heavyweights in the world. This is his 3rd KO in a row, and he did what a lot of people thought Tyson Fury should have done.
True.
To Francis Ngannou. Yes, Francis overperformed in that first night, but listen, Anthony Joshua's a whole different animal, especially this current version of Anthony Joshua, who's been busy, who's been switching trainers. His marriage with Ben Davidson has been fantastic. I really think that this is the second coming of Anthony Joshua.
So, Francis did his thing. It didn't work out in his second fight, Paulie, but much to Chris's point, he may be facing one of the best versions that we've seen of AJ.
Yeah, and I also feel like the cat was out of the bag with Ngannou. You know, you kind of knew what you were dealing with. You knew he could box a little bit. You knew he knew how to transfer his power from MMA to boxing, which we hadn't seen a lot of MMA guys do before that. And he kind of had his fundamentals pretty down pat. I felt like he actually showed up a little bit more ready. He was changing levels a little bit, trying to feint his way in. Like, I felt it was a better Ngannou. It was just, you know, an MMA guy against a world-class fighter in boxing. This is the result you're probably going to get when the world-class fighter takes him seriously.
Well, name another man who has opened a professional boxing career against Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury.
Nobody. And he might get Wilder next.
Yeah,
Which all the guys everybody wanted to fight, this guy's getting all of them.
These guys are active. You see, when McGregor did it, Mayweather was retired. Anderson Silva did it against the Chavez Jr., who nobody ever really took seriously except the WBC. And then, you know, I don't know. He's actually gone after active world-class fighters, and you know what? Got two good big fights out of it.
All right, let's hear a little bit more about what we saw over the weekend from Saudi Arabia.
To be or not to be, Joshua chose to be. Thank you, Anthony Joshua, for saving boxing. You know, I've been sitting down thinking, have you seen Anthony Joshua's resume? And if you've seen it, can you compare it to Tyson Fury?
Fury didn't look great in that fight against Ngannou. Right now, AJ has become the talk of the heavyweight division. It may only last 2 months. Who knows? We'll see if somebody comes out of the May 18th fight with all the stars behind them and all the momentum behind them. But right now, AJ has become himself become the talk of the heavyweight division.
For the first, I would say, minute or so of that fight, I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, like it was like you can say like, damn, Ngannou's actually in there. He's actually looking pretty good. He's actually winning this round.
Until he got punched in the face. And then he had the plan until he got punched in the face.
But then he switched southpaw.
Yeah, it was bad.
You know, usually that was a bad thing to do, to switch southpaw against Anthony Joshua, because Joshua just got done fighting the best southpaw in the world.
Yeah. What about the activity? We talk all the time how inactivity is plaguing the sport. Joshua, I believe, has fought 5 times in the past 14, 15 months. What's a bigger confidence booster than that? The guy's turnaround. He's the busiest heavyweight in the world.
And he got knocked out by Anthony Joshua. Personally, though, guys, I think people are being a little bit critical, maybe a little jealous of Francis Ngannou. Remember, this is a man after he fought Tyson Fury who changed his longtime trainer's life with his generosity. He's in there trying to do it. He's facing the best in the world, Chris. So he gets knocked out. A lot of great fighters get knocked out. Give him a little credit before you send him back to the cage.
No, I think he'll be back, and he said that. And even Anthony Joshua immediately after said, hey, man, you have a lot to offer the sport. Right. You should box again. And, I agree with him. I think there's still big opportunities for him out there. I'd like to see him get a win one of these days, but I do, it's like you said, Champ, he is improving in Ngannou.
Some people probably think he already got a win.
Yeah, I'll say that. The fight with Fury was very, very controversial, but I'd like to see him back in PFL just to show his brand, you know, as a winner. Because
I don't think he has a choice.
This is a winner, you know. So you go in there, do what you do best. And I'd like to see him against a top 20 heavyweight. You know, I just don't know if it generates the kind of money where people will be interested. But I've mentioned like the name like Charles Martin, who, you know, had a heavyweight title. Joshua knocked him out in 1 round. So, you know, but Martin had a heavyweight title, and he's been pretty tough on guys like Jared Anderson and things like that. I wouldn't mind seeing that, you know. It's kind of
listen, it won't generate the kind of money, but when you got $30 million in the bank now, because after these last 2 fights, you can take a step down and pay that.
And you know what? Ngannou is the star. If you can bring Charles Martin to the Middle East, you make that kind of fight. Even if you pay Ngannou $3-4 million, bro, he was getting nothing compared when Dana White was paying him. Yeah, when Dana White was paying him, you know, basically slave wages. $3-4 million ain't $30 million, but it's still way more than you were making when you're working for that pig. So might as well get that Charles Martin fight in there. I'm telling you, I think it's right there. Yeah, and it's a fun fight because Martin's always in fun fights too. And he's a character, and he's a little bit out of his mind. And you know what? Ngannou is brave, and he's showing capabilities. And I think he's going to get even better.
And Chris, quickly, we've got to put this point and make it very, very valid and very definitive. Boxers don't get ready to jump into the cage. It is a whole different world in mixed martial arts.
Oh yeah, no, we're not gonna see a lot of guys make that trip. But again, because of the money. Right. There's no reason to go into the cage. The lion's share of the money is in boxing. So it doesn't make sense for a boxer to go into the cage. Maybe we might see it one day, but no one who's making money in the top of the sport, in a sport where they're getting paid, but they're getting paid to boxing, is gonna make that transition. Makes no sense.
Kicks and elbows and grounded pound part of it too, Paulie.
Yeah, but that's the thing, man. We talked about that pick Dana White. He set the marketplace for the MMA. Right. Now boxers won't go there because they have a better marketplace than boxing. That's why it's the other way around. That's why MMA guys go to boxing. The marketplace is unfortunately already set in MMA.
Well, thankfully, PFL, Bellator looking to put on big fights still.
And more generosity for the big fighters.
There you go, like Francis Ngannou. So he loses to AJ, but we move forward to our co-main event of the evening. Our odd focus on this fight between Luke Santamaria and Nicklaus Flaz, brought to you by our title sponsor, sportsbetting.ag. A minus 185 is Luke Santamaria from Garden Grove, California, and the Puerto Rican plus 155. His last three opponents, a combined record of 38-0. Our tale of the tape for our co-main event of the evening, scheduled for 10 rounds in the welterweight division. 26-year-old Santamaria against 28-year-old Nicklaus Flaz. Everything else is virtually identical. Once again, with the official introductions of the second straight welterweight matchup tonight, Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, our co-main event of the evening. This event is scheduled for 10 rounds in the welterweight division. Your judges for this fight, Brenton Jackson, Tito Wilgo, and Brian Gary. And the third man in the ring is your referee, Massimo Montanini. Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner. He wears the pink and purple trunks, and he weighed in at 146.6 pounds. His record, 11 wins, 2 losses, with 7 wins by knockout. From Vega Alta, Puerto Rico, please welcome Nicklaus Flaz. And his opponent standing in the red corner, wearing the white and orange trunks. He also weighed in at 146.6 pounds. His record, 14 wins with 3 losses and 1 draw. Also with 7 wins by knockout. From Garden Grove, California, please give a hand for Luke Santamaria.
Guys, okay, respect each other and respect the rules, okay? Touch them up. Good luck.
Thank you, sir.
Chris, pre-fight, you said quite simply, this is quality against quality. Both of these men at very similar stages of their professional career.
Yeah, this is about as pick-em fight as you can get. I'm very excited for this fight. I think these guys are going to really go for it and put on a great show. Both these guys are very, very tough. Have been in with very good opposition. Another time we got to look past the numbers of both guys.
Well, that's the thing, champ. You know, this is one of those fights, and we love to bring you these kind of fights on ProBox TV. Good records, you know, not undefeated, but good records, and they're battle-tested records. Yes. So these are for real records. You know, sometimes you get these kind of 15-3, 14-3 guys with, you know, sort of padded-up records. These guys both have really earned their record. You go to BoxRec.com and check these guys on BoxRec. They have fought a murderer's row of opposition, and they still have a good record to speak of despite that.
Flaz is coming off of 2 upset victories over undefeated guys, New York prospects, 2 guys that I know very, very well. Yep. Very impressive.
Tucker and Sabayo, right?
Yep, Sabayo and Jahai Tucker.
Both of those 8-round majority decision victories, Paulie, with Nicklaus Flaz in the pink and purple, white and orange trunks for Luke Santamaria.
Yep. Quick hands there from Flaz.
Santamaria's only setbacks as a professional have been against undefeated fighters, one of them very early in his professional career. Just his 3rd fight. Paul Kroll, a 10-round unanimous decision win over Santamaria, and Jesus Ramos Jr., also a 10-rounder that went against Luke Santamaria.
Yeah, as a win over former world champion Devin Alexander. Granted, it was past his prime Alexander, but a good win there. And I believe he beat Mikkel Fox, right?
He did?
Yeah, beat Mikkel Fox, yep.
Also not an easy guy to deal with, man.
No,
and he gave up 7.5 inches in that fight.
That's one of the reasons Mikkel Fox is not an easy guy to deal with.
Tonight, it's 5'9" against 5'9" as we get things started in our co-main event of the evening.
Mikkel Fox is taller than everybody he fights.
Yeah, there you go.
I heard Flaz say in an interview, if I'm fighting somebody better than me, I have to outwork them. And he's got a great gas tank. He's a guy, if you look at his trunks, you can tell he likes that fun. And when he fights, he actually fights like that. He likes that fun in there. He's a gas tank guy, an endurance guy, throws a lot of punches. Ooh, nice counter.
Hook there by Santamaria. See, Santamaria is a position guy. Flaz is that fun guy who tries to create those different angles, right? Santamaria to hold that position. I turn southpaw, tries to make you pay for an overcommitment or maybe reaching in or whatnot. Tried to go for the counter there, came up short. Flaz counter into counter.
Yeah, Flaz has very quick hands on the inside. He gets to the target. Not a huge puncher, but he gets those quick hands in there in exchanges.
Nicklaus Flaz talked about being re-energized and definitely having his confidence boosted with those wins that you guys just talked about. Back-to-back victories over unbeaten fighters, and that was coming off the stoppage in the first round.
Oh!
Chica. Right on cue.
1-2, well-timed. Santamaria walked right into it.
Those quick hands on the inside, man. Very, very dangerous. Hit you with a shot you don't see.
Talk about what happened to him in the first, and he throws the damage out against Santamaria in our opening round.
No rush, my friend, no rush. I'm not yet, my friend. No te confíes. Start waking up. Muévete, ya bien. Camino de la derecha, él se va a desesperar y va a querer ahora apretar, ¿está bien? Y mueve el
Well, Flaz made me eat my words a little bit on this one. I said he wasn't a big puncher, but really, if you land a shot like that, timing in the middle, you don't have to be a big puncher.
Yeah, and that's what it was. Look at Santamaria steps in. Watch, he steps right into it. That's the thing. Santamaria was looking for his own right hand and never saw the right hand that the Flaz was throwing.
So a knockdown scored in round number 1 for 11-2 Nicklaus Flaz. Flaz in the pink and purple. Luke Santamaria is in the white and orange trunks. Mom from Mexico, father from Garden Grove, California, where Luke still lives and trains today. Good combination, quick hands from Nicklaus Flaz.
Flaz came out confident. He's supremely confident now. He knows he can hurt his man. He put him down in the first round. Had a good round even before that. Getting right back to work here in round 2.
Yeah, fights off that rhythm. He's getting into a rhythm, and his rhythm is his confidence. Santamaria, again, he's a position guy. He looks to earn that position. He's a bit more flat-footed.
Flaz, a very tricky guy on the inside. Lets those hands go. I said he's an endurance guy. He throws a lot of punches, but he keeps him real short on the inside. Doesn't load up.
Chris, I watched some of Santamaria's fight as we prep for tonight, and more than once, commentators talked about how he can be very tricky.
Yeah, I mean, he's a dog. He's in there, and like we've talked about the competition that both these guys have fought. Santamaria's fought really, really high-level guys, and with tough guys, too, and has been in there and pulled out wins in a lot of those big fights.
I'll tell you what, you can see from Flaz's style, he's a rhythmic guy, and that rhythm sometimes breaks your own position a lot, and that's where Santamaria makes himself dangerous. All that tricky rhythm that Flaz has, and Santamaria, aside from switching stances, holds his position. Even in the southpaw stance, he holds his position very well. So he remains dangerous. So Flaz has to remain supremely focused despite being in that rhythm and creating those opportunities, because Santamaria, see, he doesn't break his position. He's looking to keep a position so that he can counter and fire back. He can't match Flaz with physical talent and athleticism. What he does try to match him is timing, and you can't have timing without proper positioning. So that's why Santamaria's bread and butter is his positioning. Flaz is more his athleticism.
And honestly, I mean, if you're fighting a guy like Flaz, that is the way to beat a guy like that. You got to counter in between those holes while you're punching, and you got to have more power, and your stance is going to matter there.
Santamaria flowing back and forth. Good combination, 4 or 5 punches there. Final minute of round number 2. Our co-main event scheduled for 10 rounds.
Great stuff back and forth between these two guys.
Yeah, we knew this would be a good fight, guys. You know, we let the fans at home know as well.
Yep.
These guys, the records of these guys are both battle tested, and you can kind of see the skill sets that are inside the ring right now, kind of matching up against one another.
Both turned professional in 2015. Santamaria, at age 17, was still in high school. when he made his pro debut.
That's more common now with amateurs removing the headgear at elite level.
Big time.
Por dentro, pero no te confíes ningún segundo, ¿ok? Eric, here, escúchame. Quiero que piques cuando estás de zurdo, a veces quedas aquí, tírale la pinche izquierda de zurdo aquí a la volada, entra, ¿ok?
Ya, manténlo vivo y recógelo, ¿está bien? Vamos adelante 3. Oye.
Advice from both corners. Knockdown in round number 1, scored by Nicklaus Flaz. Round number 3. Luke Santamaria in the white and orange, pink and purple for Nico, the Puerto Rican, Nicklaus Flaz. Saw a little switch of stance back and forth. Good combination by Flaz here early in round 3.
Nice precision there from Flaz, picking his punches very well.
You're that uppercut he threw, stepping back again, that athleticism.
Here comes Santamaria. Good move there from Flaz. Underhook, spin, put him in the corner.
A little MMA there, right?
A little bit, little wrestling in there.
Luke Santamaria on his loss to 18-0. Jesus Ramos Jr. said he should have thrown more against Ramos. Let's see if he tries to stay very busy here, especially being the victim of a first-round knockdown as he opens up with the hook and follows up with the right hand. Flaz, as you guys mentioned, has a lot of fun out there, energized by his last 2 victories, and of course, a good start to this fight on ProBox TV.
You can see his rhythm. He changes distances. Santamaria just missed that counter right hand. Well, but he changes distances subtly. Uses some throwaway punches to set up some power shots. Mixes his attack upstairs and downstairs. And again, a lot of those throwaway punches are also to try to get Santamaria out of position. Who doesn't oblige, by the way? Right. Santamaria keeps his positioning and keeps that and remains dangerous himself, and sometimes laying some good counters on his own.
Smile on the face of Nicklaus Flaz. Back and forth from southpaw to orthodox. Good body shot from Santamaria.
Very good body shot. Well placed, good timing. And that's what I could do with a guy like Flaz, who throws so many punches. Touch him downstairs. Put some water in the basement, as our friend Ted Gatlitz used to say. Get those legs to slow down. Get those punch output to go down.
Kalajdzic and Bahada still to come in our main event.
That's how they sunk the Titanic. Too much water in the basement.
Too much water in the basement.
That's how it was an iceberg.
Santamaria would like to sink Flaz tonight.
And Paulie's got Happy Gilmore. Titanic.
Beautiful combination there from Flaz. Uppercut, right hand, left hook.
Back to Siskel and Ebert right now, Chris, with Paulie tonight.
Oh, with this guy's every day with this guy, with the movie references.
That's true.
This fight is turning into a movie. Good back and forth. The plot line is set for this fight here as well.
Well, the way Flaz is smiling, and this might be a comedy movie, the way that he's acting. He's winking in there, smiling.
Having fun. Flaz's family, Dominican. He was born and raised in Puerto Rico. If you land a good combination, you might as well admire your work. Here's the combo, guys.
Oh, look at that feint with the jab and then shot that right uppercut. He got the reaction he wanted with the feint. See, Santamaria drops down and then he ends up in the path of that uppercut.
And that's something only a guy with fast hands could do. He doubled his rear hand. The rear uppercut right to the straight right hand.
Yeah.
Nice stuff there from Flaz, and you see him smile, so.
Yeah, well,
he's having fun.
With the Nico mouthpiece, which I would guess did not come from Modell's. And if you haven't been with us on Wednesday nights, we get away from Shields a little bit once in a while. Aging ourselves. Mike Goldberg, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, co-main event. Luke Santamaria is in the white and orange trunks, pink and purple for Nicklaus Flaz. Just one fight last year, Chris, for Santamaria.
Yeah, Santamaria started this round very smart, came out, landed a couple good right hands upstairs and a good body shot, but here comes Flaz, man. Once he finds that rhythm, he's a tough guy to deal with.
Dad got him started in boxing, more so than anything. The Santamaria family's next door neighbor was a boxing coach. And Luke told us he didn't play any other sports, just focused on the sweet science. Lead left hook. Good answer by Nicklaus Flaz.
I'm feeling a shift here from Santamaria. You know, you mentioned that he needed to punch more in that fight against Ramos, and he's coming out in this round throwing more hands. Listen, he's got a guy in front of him who's throwing a lot of punches. A lot of times it can be hard to get off when you got a guy who's busy like that. Might as well, if you're gonna get hit, you might as well hit him back as well. So you see Santamaria throwing a lot more punches this round.
And also swing and a miss there. And also Flaz has made himself more available, less movement on the part of Flaz. Maybe he's tiring a little bit, less of the rhythm. You know, he was kind of changing distance back and forth before. Now he's kind of languishing in there, and Santamaria has, you know, that's the wheelhouse of Santamaria. He wants to be able to trade there. Good shot there from Santamaria from the southpaw stance.
I was gonna say it could be those body shots, because Santamaria has been landing some really tricky, nice, hard left hook. Oh, big right hand over the top, and a left hook.
Flaz again with a big right hand. Still a lot of time on the clock here in round 4.
And beautiful punch selection from Flaz.
Flaz knocked down Santamaria in round number 1. Santamaria just very discreetly switches that stance from orthodox to southpaw in tight and walks right back to the other side. Oh, huge uppercut.
Well timed.
Flaz was losing the round early. Looks like he's getting it back now.
Coming off those back-to-back wins over unbeaten fighters that you guys talked about earlier, Flaz is feeling it.
Yeah, man, he's really sitting down on these punches here.
Yeah, I tell you, Santamaria wanted Flaz to stay still so he can fight with him, but
maybe not.
I don't know if he still wants that.
Pumping the jab from the southpaw stance, but it's Flaz again with that uppercut.
Thank you.
Good two-way action that last round. There's that right hand over the top of Santamaria jab and the right hand, and then the 1-2 followed. This was a good sequence here by Flaz. As Santamaria backed up, this was later in that same sequence. Santamaria backed up, got hit with a hook, kept backing up. Flaz throwing that right hand. You know, Jim, you mentioned that Flaz doesn't have a lot of power. I think now Santamaria kind of warmed up to the power, so it didn't really affect him as much, but it had him backing up a lot.
I really like the eyes of Flaz. He's keeping them on his opponent. He's very focused, staying calm in the heat of the action. That's why he's able to pick such good punches.
And that's exactly the great point, too, because Santamaria changes the target, but Flaz adjusts to the change of target.
Yeah, Flaz's awareness is impressive tonight.
Still to come, our main event of the evening, a light heavyweight matchup for the WBA Continental North America light heavyweight title. Radivoje Kalajdzic and Sullivan Barrera.
And it got me thinking now, champ. You'd mentioned the positioning of Santamaria, but you got to think about the positioning of Flaz too. It's very different, but he's always in position to punch, which is why he's getting the better of the inside exchanges.
Yeah, and the thing was, before, when he was doing those little half steps like right there, he's still in position to punch when he changes his feet. But now he's actually staying in the pocket a lot of times and still keeping that punch position, which is rare. Usually you're pretty good at one or the other.
Also impressive from Flaz. You know, a couple fights ago, he was knocked out in 1 round by Boca Chica, who we've had on our air, and he seems very comfortable with the punches coming by him. He's not shying away from anything. He is fully recovered from that KO.
He talked about that at length, Paulie and Chris, before he fought on ProBox TV from San Juan, Puerto Rico. He just said, you know, he was hurt a bit careless, but more than anything, he went back to the basics. He looked to fix every facet. He said from the lab to the ring, now the pressure is to utilize that new polished skill set in live fire, and so far he's 2 for 2, looking to make it 3 straight since being finished by Boca Chica in round number 1.
And you can see it, you know, when he is on defense, he has a very active guard, keeping those hands moving, getting them back in position, all while throwing and moving.
Yeah, I mean, you get knocked out in 1 round by a guy like that, you end up in opponentsville when you become an opponent. That's where he went, and he knocked off 2 undefeated guys.
Right. Yeah, he got called in to be the opponent, and now he's here on ProBox TV.
13-0 and 10-0, no longer with those, thanks to Nicklaus Flaz. Again, looking for that uppercut, and Santamaria seamless from orthodox to southpaw and tight.
I think this fight's going to get very interesting in the second half.
Yeah, Santamaria is getting a little closer this round, guys.
Yep.
Well, it's kind of slowing down. Good shots there from both guys.
That's the thing about fast guys, especially when they start fast. A lot of times, once that speed starts to go down, that gas tank goes down a little bit. You got a guy like Santamaria who comes on late.
Yeah, and Santamaria's position. If you start to slow down, Santamaria's positioning, you know, can benefit him.
In the final minute of another very busy round here in our co-main event.
Speed's a funny thing. You're either just fast enough or not fast enough, and if you start to slow down, this fight can turn into a real competitive fight.
30 seconds on the clock. Right hand thrown by Nicklaus Flaz. He does have fun in there. And his fight from Puerto Rico was on ProBox TV, so this is the second time we've had Nico here on ProBox TV. Action-packed into the round.
Better round for Santamaria.
Jab. Mira ese jab, no saltes recto para atrás porque te está agarrando con la derecha. De zurdo a izquierda entras directa al pecho, entra bien, pero relajadito. La derecha
the corner of Santamaria.
Yeah, Santamaria got a little closer that round. You know, it's going to be interesting the second half of the fight now, guys.
Yeah, I think it was the best round of the fight for Santamaria. Seems like a little bit of a momentum shift. I said round 4, he started to throw more punches. Round 5, he had a much better round. We're going to see how this pans out these next 2 rounds.
Yeah, can Flaz maintain that rhythm in the second half of the fight?
His last 2 fights were 8-rounders. Both went the distance. Both men with just 1 fight in 2023. 6-rounder for Santamaria that went the distance.
But the way these guys are exchanging, really, they're both 1 punch away from really turning the tide. Flaz, though, does have that cushion of the knockdown in round 1 for those of you scoring at home. Ooh, good right hand from... Oh!
Walked into it again. That athleticism.
Yeah. That ability to change angles, change in and out, that's impressive.
Great point, champ, but he walked him into it again. And this time the knockdown affecting Santamaria a little more. He's trying to walk that off. After the first round knockdown, he was kind of not smiling. Also, another problem, you got a lot of time.
Flaz just snapped his head back again.
And Flaz just picking perfect punches, body.
Looking to finish it right here, right now.
Oh, good body shots.
Flaz with the knockdown in 1.
Oh, that liver shot.
And the second one here in the 6th.
That a body shot?
That was liver shot. Yeah. That was bad.
It's all over.
Oh, yeah.
Nicklaus Flaz defeats Luke Santamaria in our co-main event.
Very, very impressive. Wow.
There was no count. round. Did he just wave it off?
I think the corner stopped. I think the corner stepped in. Wow, very, very impressive.
You see the final salvo. There's a swinging jab. You see Santamaria flying in, walks right into a right hand. And that's the thing about Flaz. So athletic. He looks like he's just bailing out. And instead, watch. He kind of looks like he's bailing. That was a body shot.
That was the end of the fight. That was
a leverage shot in the head, champ. Yeah, the corner. You were right, Jim. The corner came in.
Yep. Which is surprising because they didn't see that body shot from the angle we saw it from, and that thing was brutal. But the corner had seen enough.
Even the way that right hand got set up on the first knockdown of the round, he kind of backs up. He looks like he's bailing, and that right hand shoots. I mean, the ability to throw that right hand and to throw it hard enough to drop him too. I mean, granted, I know Santamaria walked into it, but that was impressive as well.
Yeah. That ability to pull in and then come back with powers. That's a super athletic move. That change of direction, they talk about that in other sports a lot. Basketball is a really important thing to have. Change of direction. It's really important to have in boxing too, and Flaz has it.
Yeah, well, you know what? This is a sport. Your athleticism can translate if you know how to make it translate.
I always say you don't have to be a good athlete to be a boxer, but it certainly helps.
Yeah, it does.
It certainly helps.
It does. And Flaz has proven that tonight.
Super, super impressive. Santamaria has been in tough with so many guys to beat him in that way. Nicklaus Flaz is a real, he's a prospect now. Yep. He goes from opponent to prospect.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, 3 straight big wins, and this one a big finish.
Oh, that was the first round 1-2. That was a nice shot 1-2. And again, Santamaria, the shots you don't see coming. You know, Santamaria was throwing his own right hand. You see that? Never sees the right hand coming. And Flaz has a real keen ability to hit you shots you don't see coming. Really sneaky shots. Speed and sneaky angles. And you saw Santamaria trying to come back, but there it is again, champ. The change of angles, athleticism, having fun.
Dude, and just the rhythm, the head movement, the side to side, and that's the thing. He punches off of his defense, off of his movement, and his conditioning is fantastic. Oh, look at these.
And this is the end, that thing right here. Watch, he's gonna look like he's going. I mean, that shot comes out of nowhere.
It tricked the cameraman. The cameraman literally got tricked on that. He couldn't keep up.
And then the final salvo. Let's look at his body shot. Left hook to the body. Oof. Man, Santamaria is just like, I can't get away from it. Headshots, body shots, I can't get away from it.
And fans, the way you hear us groaning is because we know what those kind of punches feel like.
Nicklaus Flaz once weighed 230 pounds. Yeah, he did, Chris. And he's impressive tonight. Jim Sorensen to make it official.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 1 minute 12 seconds into the 6th round, the red corner asked referee Massimo Montanini to stop this fight. For your winner by technical knockout, Nicklaus "Nico" Flaz.
First finish since January 31st of 2020. First in over 4 years. His 8th win by knockout as Nicklaus Flaz moves to 12-2. Big win in our co-main event of the evening for Flaz, who wants titles at 147, 154. He said even at 160 because he likes to eat. We will visit with the winner, Nico from Puerto Rico, as we continue Wednesday night fights, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag here on your boxing channel. This is ProBox TV. Great display of athleticism, our co-main event. Nico with the finish, and Nicklaus Flaz joining us here at the broadcast table. Nico, I just want to say one thing. You need to have some fun out there. You look so stiff. There's that great smile. You're having fun, aren't you?
Job done.
I'm gonna get you the headset that's working. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good.
Nico. I'm gonna get you here.
Holly's just a giving person.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have having a little fun out there, right, Nico?
Yeah, I like to have fun in the ring, get the job done. But I think I gotta be always conscious of what's coming to me.
Yeah, no, that was a fantastic performance. You know, yeah, I'd watched a lot of your fights before this. You know, I'd said that this was going to be a great fight and had potential to steal the show, the fight. But you have the potential to steal the show with that performance. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Your ability to change directions, the way you were picking your punches. I mean, against the toughest opponent of your career.
Yeah, it is the toughest opponent of my career. But I like to face tough opposition so I can get myself to the next level and prove myself down below in the welterweight division.
After the setback, Nico, against Boca Chica, you were very open with us. You said you weren't ready mentally, physically, and you really went back to the drawing board, and now it's 3 straight, so whatever you're doing, it's working.
Thank you. The thing about the Boca Chica fight, I had camp with my coach that you saw tonight. I had camp in another place, but he went to the fight to be with me, and just at the outcome. And now you see the difference when I treat him.
Yes, keep doing what you're doing here.
Yeah, thank you. Nah, I gotta do a lot better. Yeah. I gotta keep improving.
Okay, were you really 230 pounds at one point in your life?
Yeah, when I was 16 years old, I was 230 pounds.
And that's when you started boxing?
I didn't start boxing to lose weight. I had a problem with one of my neighborhood friends. I said to one of my friends, I'm gonna go to the gym, because he was a boxer. I'm gonna go to the gym and beat him up. And I would get the chance, I fell in love with the sport, and then we became friends.
After you beat him up?
I didn't bring him like enemies. We sparred like friends. Never got the payback like I wanted to.
And I like what you said about 147, 154, and you wouldn't mind 160, so you can eat a little bit.
Yeah, just when I'm close to old enough.
Yeah. And when you rank the wins that you've had, really now 3 straight, unbeaten fighter, Santamaria, outstanding fighter. Is this the best that you've been performing in your pro career?
Yes, this is the best performance I had in my career. Because with Ceballos, he was a really slick fighter. I couldn't get my shots clean in, so I just went to the basics and went round by round. Same thing with Tucker. Hell of a fighter, hell of skills, long reach, speed, and I'm gonna do what I had to do to win. I forget about the knockout. With Santamaria, I saw a Mexican guy. This is gonna be a Mexican Puerto Rican war. But I also saw that he was a slick fighter, so I gotta be cautious. But I knew that when I got him clean, I could hold him. And that's what happened in the first round. I got him clean and he went down. But I know he was a tough opponent, so I had to pace myself and keep looking for the shot.
Yeah, you do something I really like, and I saw that in round 1. You have very quick hands on the inside, and you let your punch. You're not loading up on shots, and that's actually what dropped him. It wasn't the biggest shot in the world.
No, it wasn't one quick 1-2.
Yeah, it was a quick 1-2 in the middle. He didn't see it, and those are the most dangerous punches. Yeah. And I've noticed that in other fights. So I know Jai Tucker and Ceballos very well from New York. I know they're very, very talented guys. So coming off of those 2 wins, I was like, this kid can fight for sure.
Thank you.
You proved me right, so thank you.
Thank you.
And lunging into that right hand would make Superman Roy Jones Jr. very proud. But you've talked about your idols being Cotto, Trinidad, Whitaker, but also the man over on the Spanish broadcast team, Juan Manuel Marquez. Yeah. How cool is it to fight in front of one of your idols?
It's fantastic. It feels great. In front of these 2 great champions too. And in front of you and all these people, it feels great, man. It feels great to showcase my skills and everybody can see me.
Well, we love the enthusiasm that you bring to the Pro Box ring. And I think it's going to continue to go. And a big part of it was you looking in the mirror and saying, hey, I didn't do it right against Boca Chica, and it's paying off, isn't it?
Exactly. I went for back. I'm getting better and better every day. I just gotta keep improving. I don't lay back. I want to keep improving.
You know, I'm really impressed coming back from a fight like that, getting stopped in the first round, and then to have the confidence that you have in the ring, and to be in there with those exchanges, and not worried about that happening again. That shows a lot to your character and how much you actually believe in yourself.
Yeah. At the beginning of my career, I was a brawler. Not the moving. I didn't do all of that. I was straightforward, punching, and I could use that now to my advantage. I know how to find the inside. I learned about bouncing outside and current punching. I just implemented a little bit.
Of all the things you've experienced in your life, though, Nico, the Magic Man, Paulie Malignaggi, giving you his headset to do an interview. This has got to be a magical moment for you, isn't it?
I'm about to get home, man.
Paulie's a giver, man.
He's taking your headset home, Paulie. Nico, congratulations. Great performance.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And the big smile, a lot of fun, too, as Nicklaus Flaz victorious in our co-main event of the evening. And that smile is not going away anytime soon. Main event is coming up next. It is a big one at 175 pounds. Hot Rod and Barrera. This is ProBox TV. We are set for our main event of the evening, 28-2. Radivoje Kalajdzic, 20 of his 28 victories have come by knockout. His opponent, Sullivan Barrera, the Cuban now living in Miami, 22-4 with 14 wins by knockout. This one for the WBA Continental North America light heavyweight title. This is a matchup of two men who have knocked on the door against Bivol, Beterbiev, and they want to be better than the other guy tonight, Paulie, so they can get back to that door and crash through it.
Well, you just don't know what happens after the light heavyweight unification with Beterbiev and Bivol. You know, maybe one of them, maybe the winner decides to try his hand in the cruiserweight division, you know, having conquered all comers at the light heavyweight division, and maybe the belts open up. And so coming off a win like this, maybe you put yourself in a position to get that title shot for one of those vacant titles. Listen, they both come up short against Beterbiev and Bivol. That's no... those guys are no slouches, obviously. That's nothing to sort of feel failed about. You can come back in a division that's this stacked with talent, and if those guys, you know, which they are fighting, if they're able to maneuver somewhere else and the vacant belts become vacant or whatnot, suddenly these guys will wind up in a title fight, the winner of this fight.
And Chris, you had a pretty good seat for that Bivol-Barrera fight.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, I was in the corner with Bivol with Barrera that night, and it was funny. That's when I saw how good Bivol was. In the very first round, I saw him take a half step back and make Barrera miss, and then a half step forward and crack him with the jab. And I said, that's a master judge of distance, and that's what Bivol really shined. Ever since then, I was like, that's the guy. Watch out. And to your point, champ, Beterbiev's 40.
Yeah.
So he could be retiring. We don't know where he's going to go after this fight. He's probably not going to look to take on tough contenders coming back up. So there's going to be an opportunity. There's going to be a vacuum created after this fight in June. Those guys may be fighting each other. They may move on. Who doesn't know? You know, we never know. To your point, I mean, that vacuum creates those titles to come out. These guys do have an opportunity with a win here tonight to get back into title contention. Listen, both of them have knocked on the door on greatness.
Yes.
Neither one of them's got through that, though.
And another thing, you know, Radivoje lost to Beterbiev, Sullivan lost to Bivol. So let's say Sullivan wins and then Beterbiev wins. Well, Sullivan hasn't fought Beterbiev. You know, you got a shot there.
Right.
Or the other way around. If Bivol wins and Radivoje wins tonight, you know, Radivoje hasn't fought Bivol. You know, the matches make themselves.
You talk about the age, though. Sullivan Barrera, a decade older than his opponent. He's 42 years old, nearly a 3-year layoff. You know him very well.
Very well.
Is he ready to come back and showcase at this age, at this time?
The thing about Sullivan is, man, when he's on his game, he's very, very crafty. He has a lot of experience.
Yep.
So time off for an older fighter, timing is an issue, but he's going to be rested and ready to go. And when you got what he has, that craftiness and that skill set, and he can make this uncomfortable for the young man here, or the younger man, you know, he becomes a dangerous guy again.
So there is Sullivan Barrera. Here you see Hot Rod Radivoje Kalajdzic, born in Serbia, lives in St. Petersburg, entering the ring for our main event of the evening. Our betting odds brought to you by our title sponsor, sportsbetting.ag. And a lot of you guys out there would like to wager on this fight. Think the 32-year-old is the man in which the money should go on. Time will tell. Hot Rod said he is not the same fighter that he was earlier in his career. He did come back September of last year after a little bit over a year off, and he finished Mickey Ellison in round number 8. So second straight fight for Hot Rod here on ProBox TV. Our tail of the tape for this, our main event of the evening. You see the decade of difference in age. Not much other than that, although Hot Rod does have a slight reach advantage. 10-rounder, light heavyweights, 28-2 against 22-4. And once again, with the official introductions, we get set to get it to Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you have been waiting for, this is our main event of the evening. This fight is sanctioned by the Florida Athletic Commission and the World Boxing Association, and the WBA's Continental North America light heavyweight title is on the line. This bout is scheduled for 10 rounds in the light heavyweight division. Your judges are Jed O'Connor, Bratton Jackson, and Tito Wilgo. And the referee in charge tonight, Frank Gentile. Introducing to you first, the challenger fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the blue, red, and white. He tipped the scales at 174 pounds even. His record, 22 wins with just 4 losses and 14 wins by knockout. Fighting out of Hollywood, Florida, by way of Cuba, please welcome Sullivan Barrera. And his opponent fighting out of the red corner, defending his title, wearing the black trunks and weighing in at 174 pounds, his record, 28 wins, 2 losses with 20 big wins by knockout. Coming to us all the way from St. Petersburg, Florida, your reigning WBA Continental North America lightweight champion, Radivoje Hot Rod Kalajdzic.
Okay, gentlemen, here's the belt line. Anything below that, I'm going to call. You got all your instructions in a dressing room. This is a title fight. I expect you to listen to my commands. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up.
A battle of 2 battle-tested light heavyweights, Radivoje Kalajdzic and Sullivan Barrera. Here we go. It's time to fight. Black trunks for Hot Rod, blue, red, and white for Cuba's Sullivan Barrera. Adding on to the story of the Bees, Bivol and Beterbiev, Kalajdzic has been in fight camps with the likes of Beterbiev and also Triple G. Round 1, this one's scheduled for 10. As Hot Rod Radivoje Kalajdzic looks to defend his WBA Continental North America light heavyweight belt.
Hot Rod, you see, he's got that open guard defense, uses that long reach, tall height. Both these guys are big light heavyweights, but Hot Rod is especially so. Has a 1-inch height advantage and I think a couple inches in reach.
Yeah, so far that feel out part of the process happening right now. You know, they're just out of range of each other, so they're looking to already close that gap. See Sullivan taking those half steps back, trying to set traps.
Once again, welcome all of our viewers watching on Fubo TV, Canela, Fox Deportes, and Rogers Sportsnet in Canada. Of course, ProBoxTV.com and our ProBox TV YouTube channel. Our main event, scheduled for 10. In 2 weeks, we're right back here. It is March 27th. 10-round lightweight fight in our main event. Cuba's Joseph Adorno fights the former WBA super featherweight world champion, Jamaican Nicklaus Walters, who defended his WBA belt 4 times, fought for the WBO title as well.
That's one thing about Sullivan. At his best, he actually has a very good, sharp, educated left jab. You see him trying to find his range with it now against the taller, rangier Kaladjzic.
Nice jab there from Kaladjzic. He's trying to use that long reach to sort of establish that fighting distance. You see, trying to keep Sullivan reaching. See how the adjustments get made here as the round wears on and the fight wears on.
Yeah, a lot of times those guys with that open guard, with those arms out in front, it can be tough to judge how far away you are from your opponent. Kaladjzic doing a good job of just stepping out of range and landing his jabs. Nice jab there from Sullivan, comes right back, does Hot Rod.
10 seconds. You know, Sullivan has also, Hot Rod also has a little bit of a rhythm as well. Kind of those little half-step feints. Good attacks to the body from both.
Time.
Stepping it up, hold it tight, all right? And then when you're backing out, you're running good. Maybe step. Not too much back straight, all right? Feeling good? Nothing more. Just keep, hey, get loosened up, man. Just keep reading them out. All right, don't be too tentative with this. Just get it out.
Set for round 2 of our main event of the evening. The corner of the Cuban.
Okay?
First fight since July 9th of 2021. That fight was against then 41-0 Zurdo Ramirez. 979 days ago. Round 2. Kaladjzic in the black trunks, Barrera in the blue, red, and white. Regional belt is on the line.
See Hot Rod getting active here early in round 2. Big swing and a miss there from Hot Rod with the right hand up top. Sullivan comes down with a right hand to the body down low that lands well.
I think it's going to come down to, so far, to what I'm seeing, it's going to come down to Sullivan's ability to sort of start to try to negate that left hand of Hot Rod. Hot Rod is sort of dictating the tempo with that lead right, and then out sneaky counter right in over the top of Sullivan's jab there. But it seems like that's sort of the paradox for Sullivan, is dealing with that lead hand of Hot Rod, who is sort of controlling the tempo and the pace with it, and sneaking in those snap jabs like that.
Nice counter by Kaladjzic.
And that backed up Sullivan to the ropes.
Sullivan didn't take that well.
Keep in mind, Sullivan, 42 years old.
Yep. Finished in 2 of his 4 losses, including the one I just talked about against Ramirez a couple of years ago.
Big over, a lot of swelling around the right eye, under the right eye of Sullivan Barrera. He landed a really big right hand over the top.
Yeah, and
Kaladjzic along the ropes.
And Kaladjzic, not bad to stand up high at the middle of the ring, but against the ropes, you want to make yourself a smaller target, maybe get down a little low. Hot Rod didn't do it, and he paid with that overhand right.
And Barrera, not a KO puncher, but always very solid at the world-class level with the right hand.
Barrera was also stopped in the 12th and final round in that much talked about fight against Dimitry Bivol back in 2018.
Guys, that eye
Could
is
that
bad.
have been an accidental thumb or something? You know, but I've experienced that when I got thumbed once early in my career. I don't want to blame Hot Rod for a thumb, because it could be an accident. Maybe it's not even a thumb, but it just has that look like maybe it could have been some sort of thumb that got into the eye of Sullivan Barrera.
Yeah, that's strange for it to swell that fast.
Yeah, and also the way it swells. There's a certain kind of swelling when you get thumbed.
It almost looks like it's like an allergy the way it swells when it.
Another right hand though by Barrera. I'll tell you, Hot Rod's got to be careful going straight back and staying up high like that when he's going straight back.
You know, if you watch what Barrera's doing, he's been setting up the right hand upstairs with the right hand down low. He's been throwing that right hand to the hip since round one, and then his ability to change that and put it upstairs makes it hard to see where it's coming.
And a few seconds ago, we saw Hot Rod with 2 good body shots, but he stepped straight back again, and Barrera reached him with a right hand. So I think that's going to be that
eye's an issue.
Yeah, it's going to be an issue. They got to really work on that in the corner. I wonder if the truck is going to be able to maybe find something that could have caused that, because that thing happened quickly.
Right. Sullivan needs to be careful with those lunging shots, because that's how Kaladjzic was able to land that counter right hand that backed up Sullivan.
Ve acá, tiene que moverme el tronco. No lo deje a él con la pendeja, él con el brinquito ese, ¿ok? Tiene que echarlo para adelante y empujarlo para el frente. Sigue tocándolo, sigue tocándolo, sigue tocando. Él no quiere pelear adentro contigo, ¿entiendes? Vamos, respira profundo. Otra vez más. No te me tires, moviendo cintura, lado a lado. Sully, sigue tocándolo, tocándolo.
That's as good a right hand you're gonna see.
That ain't no thumb. That was a knuckle.
No thumb.
Bang, and there's that big overhand shot. Right. So both men finding the mark, but it seems that Sullivan got the worst of it as that eye swelled immediately after that right hand.
So a good start for Radivoje Kalajdzic in the black trunks, Barrera in the blue, red, and white.
And now Radivoje with the good jab can really big right hand again by Sullivan. That's one thing about Hot Rod, he stands too high up a lot of times.
Especially when he's going backwards. And I mentioned the power of Sullivan Barrera.
Yes, indeed you did. We got ourselves a fight.
That's the thing, Hot Rod has a good rhythm. He seems like he's dictating the fight, but he keeps taking some careless right hands.
He's hurt.
And Barrera keeps looking for that right hand.
Barrera's throwing fire right now here in round 3.
You know, Hot Rod said in his interview he knew that Barrera was going to come in shape and go for it. Here he is. And that's the thing about the craftiness of Barrera. He keeps going back down to that right hand to the body.
Closed.
Yeah, and then he changes levels and goes with the shot upstairs. Hard to tell it's coming.
Chris, you put it perfectly, though. 22, 32, or 42. If Sullivan Barrera's dialed in, he is dangerous.
I'll tell you what else, though, man. If Hot Rod keeps using that jab, he's gonna make this really, really difficult. If I'm Hot Rod, I'm just jabbing consistently, not taking a lot of chances, because that eye is gonna be a big issue for Sullivan Barrera, and even the corner might end up stopping it. The doctor might end up stopping it.
Soon that thing is gonna be 100% closed, and he's not gonna be able to see any of those left hands coming.
Yeah, I think it's at about 75 to 80 already, guys.
Yeah. Oh, big counter right hand.
Right there.
That's the thing, you're not seeing the shots coming. I only have one eye. Hot Rod has to go to neutral corner.
And that's one thing. Even when you have a good chin, when you hit with a punch that you can't see with an eye closed like that, it affects you more.
Good team's supposed to send Hot Rod to the other corner, the neutral corner.
So both men hurt this round.
Yep.
Another right hand wobbles Barrera.
Yeah, that's the thing about that educated left hand Hot Rod has. Kind of gets Sullivan lunging in sometimes, and he's able to counter over the top of it. There it is again. He's looking for that counter. He missed it there, but that's what he's looking for.
Kaladjzic said tonight, Paulie, he expected a spectacular fight. And so far early on, it is action-packed.
Yeah, it's been fun so far.
Very light on his feet, very confident is Radivoje Kalajdzic.
See, that's the trouble that Sullivan keeps having. He's reaching with that right hand, falls forward, and Kaladjzic is just waiting with that, ready to pull the trigger on that right hand.
It's a lotto shot, though, champ. You know, he's scored with it. He's looking for it. He's kind of getting more desperate, so he's going to keep lunging with it more and more. And where he looks at it, either he makes Hot Rod pay or he pays for it. But he's at that point where he's throwing the dice.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to go to the well too many times.
10 seconds.
Oh, big right hand from Kaladjzic, and Barrera comes right back with his own.
31st pro fight for Radivoje Kalajdzic. 24th opponent with a winning record in Barrera.
A little extracurricular from both men after that bell.
Just keep sticking, stay persistent with it. Yeah, what's happening is you're just pulling back.
No pasó nada. ¿Cómo estamos, campeón? ¿Estamos bien? Listen to me. Tiene que soltar esa foca.
Big overhand right from Sullivan Barrera has Kalajdzic in trouble. And there we saw it going forward again, like you said, champ.
Reaching in. Reaching in. You see Sullivan reaches in and boom. The automatic pilot there for Radivoje. Gets Sullivan reaching and then he hits him with the counter right.
And that was the same sequence in the first round that caused the damage to Sullivan's eye.
Yeah,
Overthrew the right hand, fell forward into the counter right of Kalajdzic.
Yeah, and it seems to be the two things that they're looking for. Barrera wants that over the top right hand, and Radivoje almost looks at it like Kaladjzic almost looks at it like he's gonna set up that counter right hand when Sullivan reaches.
Black trunks for Kalajdzic. Barrera in the blue, red, and white. Big start, knockdowns scored by Hot Rod. We are in round 4. This one's scheduled for 10. It is our main event of the evening. Mike Colbert, my powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri. Wednesday night fights here on ProBox TV, brought to you by sportsbetting.ag.
Corner Barrera did a good job opening that eye up a little bit here in this round, but really it's like fighting the tides. That eye is gonna shut.
Yeah, because that jab of Kaladjzic is gonna keep coming. See Barrera trying to keep in tight. I think he's gonna be looking for that big right hand any second. Trying to throw from the right distance.
Yeah, when you got a guy who's tall, long, and like you said, educated left hand like Kalajdzic, and you got an eye like that, really your only bet is to score the big shot or get the knockout.
Yeah, Kalajdzic being smart though, trying to fight at that middle range, using that snappy jab. Also changing rhythm very well, Kalajdzic.
And Chris, I think we saw that approach early in round 3 from Sullivan. Knowing his eye is compromised, he was looking for a flurry that might do some serious damage.
Yeah, but then again, he overthrew it a little bit, got caught and dropped, so.
You got to have a bit of sense of urgency when you know that your body is compromised, but you can't overdo it.
But you see Kalajdzic, he's biting on that body shot. It's eliciting a reaction, and that's why Barrera's been able to land the right hand over the top.
Yeah, you see Barrera will go to the body a little bit and then try to bring that trickery and use that same right hand to the head. Try to get Kalajdzic looking body and not seeing the right hand to the head.
Yeah, go body, change levels, go low, and then throw high.
The long-awaited Artur Beterbiev, Dimitry Bivol, undisputed light heavyweight championship fight set for June 1st in Saudi Arabia. 20-0 with 20 knockouts for 39-year-old Beterbiev. Bivol 22-0 with 11 finishes. Final 30 seconds, round 4.
Kalajdzic looking very comfortable here in round 4. Starting to walk Barrera down from corner to corner, rope to rope.
Yeah, and that snappy jab. There is again also changing range very well. Barrera not able to reach him with the right hands as much this round. Good combinations by Hot Rod.
And champ, that's exactly what you said in our lead up of this fight. What Hot Rod needed to do to be successful against the older guy, set a pace, make him uncomfortable.
Good finish to that round by Hot Rod Radivoje Kalajdzic.
You good? Yeah. All right, listen, man. All you got to do a little bit better right now is smarter on that mid-range. Bounce. When you're exchanging here a couple times, you're too much, right? Just relax, all right? You're doing good.
His father, Marco, in the corner tonight, as always. Father Marco wanted to box, but, well, Radivoje's grandmother, Marco's mom, said no. But then Dad said okay to the grandson, if you will.
Si este está haciendo a ti, súbelo, no importa, deja el referee. I got it, okay? Sully, rompiendo cintura, no te me quedes parado ahí enfrente de él. ¿Oíste?
When Radovic's father, when Kalajdzic's father was boxing, it was Yugoslavia.
Yeah, it's very true.
A lot changed.
A lot of change. It is a dream of Kalajdzic to fight at home in Serbia. We will see if that happens in his professional career. This is round 5 of our main event of the evening.
Beginning of these rounds, Sullivan is very dangerous. He's still throwing big shots with that right hand.
Trained in Orlando for this one. So just down the road, one man coming from St. Petersburg going west, the other coming east from Orlando, or the other way around.
Oh, big right hand over the top.
Yeah, Sullivan's hurt.
Yeah, that took the legs.
Kaladjzic, even with the damage to the eye early on, overall his performance has been very, very sharp.
Kaladjzic cuts off the ring here. He may, oh no. Sullivan getting desperate with the desperate punches, gets Kaladjzic off him. Sometimes a Tiger is backed up to the wall, will be more dangerous.
And Tiger's last stand can be dangerous as well. Oh, those right hands are chopping hard.
He disguises them very well. A deceptive left hand. Very good rhythm on the left hand there by Kaladjzic. You know, he's got a smooth jab. Changes rhythms with it well and hides the right hand behind it.
Yeah, he pulls that trigger nicely on the right hand. Not a lot of fat on that punch. Just lets it go nice and straight.
And even on the counter, he just kind of just shoots it.
And obviously gets knuckles in there. We saw the damage that was done to Sullivan's eye in that first round.
And also the knockdown.
And Hot Rod said, if I want to move forward in my quest for another shot at a world championship, I need this win tonight.
That body shot hurt Sullivan. That's one thing that I'm surprised Kaladjzic hasn't focused on, is the body of Barrera, because Barrera was stopped by Zurdo Ramirez to the body in his last fight.
Down in the third, then twice in the fourth in that fight back in July of 2021, Chris, that you just mentioned.
Oh, I was just going to say, Kaladjzic needs to be careful. He's traveling into the right hand of Sullivan Barrera too often.
Barrera sees it. Now he's going to get right hand happy again. That keeps Barrera believing in himself. You allow him to land the right hand like that. It looks like you're taking control of the fight. Maybe you're convincing him that you got control of the fight. He lands the right hand like that. You know, the championship mentality of Barrera will come back, and he's going to look to win the fight again.
You know, and that's something that we saw, I think, in Kaladjic's last fight. A lot of times he gets a little too comfortable in fights when he feels like he's in control and gets hit with big shots.
4-fight win streak with 3 finishes for Kaladjzic since the fight against Beterbiev. Final seconds of the 5th.
Oh, counter uppercut. This time he came with the upper instead of the counter right.
Hands up, right? He comes on in, you run into him, okay?
You're a fucking threat. Next level.
How you feel? What are you seeing out there? What do you say? Good?
Yeah.
All right. All he's doing is he's bringing these knees.
So there's that nice chopping right hand that he's been hiding so well that had Barrera in trouble early in the round. Barrera coming back, finding home for that right hand at times. But that uppercut, man, what a nasty shot. A good adjustment from Kaladjzic, who was looking for the right hands all night, and then turned it and came up the middle. Barrera did not see that shot coming.
You know, it's the body language of Kaladjzic at the beginning of every round. He comes out jumping in his corner, ready to fight, trying to put that mental press on Sullivan as well, showing him how fresh he is.
He said, I got to be faster, stronger, and I've got to set the pace, Paulie. You talked about that for Radivoje Kalajdzic, being a decade younger, set the pace, push the action, which he has done a good job of so far, partner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's been one of the things that's helped him this fight, control it and dictate the pace, and he sort of forced Sullivan to fight his fight. Sullivan has had a little bit of a measure of success, but it's been Kalajdzic's type of fight that they've been fighting.
979 days since his last fight. 42-year-old Sullivan Barrera. Round number 6. As Kaladjzic looks to defend his WBA Continental North America light heavyweight belt.
Saying his corner is wet, but that's his own corner. He's complaining about the corner, but that's his corner.
You can see it is wet. He slipped there.
Barrera won't go away, damaged or not. That is one thing throughout his career. He has been in tough as well. Combined record of the last 10 opponents that Barrera has fought, 225-8. They are truly two at the top of their game. Hot Rod just busy with those hands, setting up the right, looking for that uppercut again.
Hot Rod now has a good establishment of the in and out style that he's been using. Barrera a little too slow on his feet to catch up to him when he's backing up, champ.
He's also got Barrera fighting on every feint. I think he's having trouble seeing from that eye. So all those little fast twitch movements from Kalajdzic are listening in reaction from Barrera. And that tires you out when you're reacting to feints when nothing's coming at you.
And mental pressure. But if Kalajdzic cuts off the ring, he might have more success because Barrera's only escape has been just circling to his left.
Which makes sense. He's moving away from the injured eye. He can't go to his right. He's blind that side. The problem is that when he goes to his left, he's going into the power hand of Kalajdzic, that right hand, which has hurt him several times.
Kalajdzic, family of 5, moved to the U.S. at age 7.
Kalajdzic's still getting tall on the inside, though. He's got to be careful. Those right hands are always waiting. Oh, that uppercut again.
All you gotta do, just jab him. Good? All right. All right. Better than all right. Good. Okay. This way. Basic feet, feints, movement, steps.
Our main event rolls on. We have the Cuban tonight, and we have Cuba's Joseph Adorno, who has finished 15 of his 18 wins. He will face off against the former WBA featherweight world champion, the Jamaican Nicklaus Walters. 2 weeks, main event, Wednesday night fights here on ProBox TV. Couple of the knockdowns, Kalajdzic in control of this fight. But Barrera in the blue, red, and white, still on his feet, which makes him dangerous.
Sullivan's mouth is wide open, champ.
Yeah, he keeps. I saw him at that uppercut at the last round. Went back to his corner. Was playing around with the jaw a little bit. Really? And now you see it hanging open. That hasn't been the case up until now. Yeah, body shot down low.
I wonder if there's an issue with the jaw. We had that last show or a couple of shows ago, right? Yep. Had a fighter break his jaw badly. Well, let's see. Let's keep an eye on that as well. Observe if Sullivan's gonna close that mouth.
Stiff jab, pushes back the Cuban here.
You know, at this point, Kalajdzic is very much in control, feeling very, very comfortable, picking his spots. Little clash of heads there. I'm Kalajdzic's corner, man. I'm telling him, be careful, keep that jab going.
Yeah, he could basically just dictate with the lead left hand and just force the onus is on Barrera to make something happen.
One thing about the big guys, man, they sweat. We're getting a shower over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that jab of Kalajdzic has been very accurate since round 2.
Yeah, it's pretty much, it can take him home at this point. You know, it's, again, like I said before, the onus is on Barrera. He's got to make something happen. He's got to try to create something. And coming over trying to just wait for a right hand over the top of the jab of Kaladjzic is getting harder and harder because the rhythm on Kaladjic's jab is getting more difficult to time. Plus, it doesn't help that Barrera's left eye, right eye is
completely shut.
Yeah,
his nose is bleeding now too. But also, he's not setting up the right hands like he was earlier, putting the right hands down low, changing levels.
Round 7, under 30 seconds on the clock now.
And if you look at the body language of Barrera, you see he's very heavy over that front foot, which is why the uppercut adjustment from Kaladjzic was a very smart move the last 2 rounds.
Cuban against the Serbian here tonight. And the Puerto Rican, Joseph Adorno, against the Jamaican, Nicklaus Walters, in 2 weeks.
Sully, take a deep breath. Relax. Control your heart rate. Okay? Listen to me. We good. Yeah. We good, love. Listen to me. I want you to listen to me. This is the 8th round. Okay? You gotta fucking work. You got 3 more rounds. 8, 9, and 10. Okay? Listen to me. You gotta push him back.
Clash of heads.
You know, and I mentioned that Barrera's coming up heavy over that front foot, falling in a little bit, and that's why we're seeing head clashes like that, and also why he's been susceptible to the uppercuts from Hot Rod on the inside.
Chris, pre-fight you said Hot Rod needs to make a bigger statement tonight. Has he done so far?
So far, so good. He's looked impressive. It would be more impressive if he could get the stoppage, you know, do something that only a couple guys have done, you know, the likes of Bivol and Zurdo Ramirez. Especially considering he has a man in front of him who has 1 eye.
Yeah, and 42 years old as well.
Right. And coming off the couch for, you know, 2.5 years.
Yeah, it's stopped by a man who is 41-0 at the time. Back in 2018, Dimitry Bivol was 12-0 when they met at the Madison Square Garden Theater. 32-year-old Kaladjzic, 42-year-old Barrera.
That's one thing about the style of Kaladjzic. When you got a guy who's tall and he's long, he's got that open guard, it's easy for him to turn fights into sparring sessions. He stays at a distance, he keeps you off him.
Yeah, that's a good point, champ. And almost, it's almost to the point where Sullivan is kind of resigned to accepting that as well.
I mean, the Ellison fight was very similar. You know, he really disarmed him, and then it turned into a sparring session. Eventually got him, but.
Midway point of the 8th. That eye looks like it's almost fully shut from the jab early on in this fight thrown by Hot Rod, Radivoje Kalajdzic.
Yeah, it's getting harder and harder for the corner to get that eye open in that 1-minute rest between rounds.
Quick hands and a nice combination.
Yeah, more and more you see Barrera just covering up. Blood from the nose now of Barrera.
The eye is compromised, but compromised from a perfect punch early in the fight from Kaladjzic. But his entire arsenal has been very impressive tonight. Mixed things up very nicely.
Those left hooks are giving Barrera a problem because he cannot see on that side. They don't have to be hard shots.
And that jab rhythmic, it's singular, it's off a feint, it's doubled, it's followed with the right hand at times. Mixes it, marries it very all good counter right hand, left uppercut combination.
And he threw to the body just before that too.
See Kaladjzic now taking more risks. feeling like he's beaten the fight out of Barrera at this point.
Yeah, blood coming out of the mouth of Sullivan as well now, guys.
Blood from the mouth, the nose, right eye closed.
Take a deep breath. Guys, put ice right here. Take a deep breath. I need you to take a deep breath. We good. We good. We good. Listen to me. Listen to me. Sully, cada vez que tú lo estás empujando para atrás, you're getting to him, but I need 3 or 4 punches. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath.
There's a replay of some of that shot. That was a counter right uppercut, left hook combination by Kaladjzic. You saw Sullivan actually looking for the right hand, but he went for it. He went for it. It was one of his disguised right hands going for the chest, so he could later come back with the right hand to the head. But Kaladjzic said, "No, no, no. I'm gonna make you pay for this one too." And so the counter right hand, left hook left hook combination, counter uppercut, right uppercut, left hook combination.
Main event of the evening has reached round number 9. Kalajdzic in the black trunks, blue, red, and white for 42-year-old Sullivan Barrera. Been an impressive performance from the 32-year-old, born in Serbia, fighting out of St. Petersburg, Florida. Barrera listened to his corner, tried to put together a combination. But at this point, can he catch Kaladjzic?
That's the thing. I mean, before you can put together a combination, you got to close the gap on Kaladjzic. And Kaladjzic has that left hand working in overtime now, you know, consistently, combined with his legs especially. See, a good jab is even better when you have good legs, so you can kind of consistently measure the distance. And that's what Kaladjzic has. Kaladjzic has good legs and a good jab. Really gives you problems when you're trying to close the gap, especially when you got to get desperate like Sullivan has to if he's going to try to have a chance to win this fight.
And that's one of the things the corner's saying, you got to put 2-3 punches together. He really hasn't done that all night long. And to ask him to do it at this late in the fight, with the damage that he's taken.
Yeah. And before you can give those instructions, you got to basically instruct him how to get close first, you know, because you got to get past that jab of Kaladjzic, that rhythmic jab Kaladjzic has had all night, if you're going to be able to put yourself in position and throw those 3 and 4 punch combinations. And then, like you said, champ, even when he gets inside, he's not able to do it. Punches too wide. There it is. A couple little combination there.
I was going to say, Kaladjzic is allowing him to come in here now.
Any chance you get, though, if you do get in there, the combinations are working, champ.
Yep. You can see Barrera, the punches are still heavy.
And this is something that should have been happening before as well.
Well, we know one thing, power is always the last thing to go. But at this point, round 9, 1 minute left. Not a lot of damage at all taken by Kaladjzic.
And a good left hand, that'll sort of, you know, prevent you from taking a lot of damage as well. Good right hand there by Barrera.
Barrera's having a good round.
He's trying to turn it up, much like his corner talked about. Body shot from Hot Rod. Oh, snapped the head back with the jab.
Yeah, Barrera listened to his corner this round. He's coming out throwing punches, throwing more combinations than we've seen all night long.
Controversial split decision loss to Marcus Brown was the first setback for Kaladjzic. Only time he's been stopped was in May of 2019 in the title fight against Artur Beterbiev.
But then again, everybody gets stopped by Artur Beterbiev.
Exactly, all 20 of them, Paulie.
I don't know if the corner is going to be able to get that eye open in between these rounds here.
1 round left, though. Let's see.
He debates it, all right? Fire, fire, gloves, gloves, gloves. It's gonna create your opening, okay? Use it like a jab, bam, 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 all right? And then it might be a jab right, it might be a 2-3. Just fucking get him to close those gloves and find a target, all right? Last round, be smooth, you're up.
Tú no estás cansado. Vamos a meter las manos, Sully. Póneme la vaselina. Vamos para encima. Yes, yes, I got you. got it.
Let's hit him. You need a knockout. You're not tired. 3 minutes to go.
Yeah, easier said than done there.
You got that right.
3 minutes. It's a big countdown now.
10th and final round of our main event of the evening.
Almost seemed like Kaladjzic took the last round off. Let's see if he comes out and see if he can try and close the show.
Yeah, I guess that sense of desperation by Barrera and combined with the fact that Kaladjzic probably feels like he's way too far ahead.
That's what his corner was saying. They were like, keep it basic, keep it fundamental. You're way ahead.
Oh, clash of heads there. That was actually face to head.
Yeah.
Face to face.
Beak to head.
Hot Rod has really utilized the jab well tonight. And it was a stiff jab that compromised the right eye of Barrera very early in this fight. Jab back from Sullivan.
And Sullivan has shown a lot of heart, a lot of grit.
No surprise to you, Chris.
No question he's a warrior, even at 42.
And Kaladjzic knew that coming in. There's a big right hand from Sullivan Barrera.
And he's throwing it like he knows he needs a knockout. You know, he's throwing it with all that weight behind it.
His corner told him that. Said, we need a knockout here. I like when a corner is being realistic with their fighter.
I like that he tried even last round, you know, with the combination punching. He put those punches together last round. I thought it won him the 9th round.
That's the thing, when you got a guy like Sullivan who can follow the instructions. He's a coach's dream in that sense.
Just past the midway point of our 10th and final round. Good shot lands for Kaladjzic.
Nice shot with here as well, guys.
Yep.
Sullivan Barrera just landed a nice overhand right.
The sweat shower's better than the bloodbath, though, Paulie.
Yeah, I'll take the sweat before the blood.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's a mix of both.
Oh, yeah, still got some blood.
I just picked out some reddish stuff off my head. It's blood and sweat.
Right hand again for Barrera,
right hand.
answered by Kaladjzic.
That was a nice counter.
His legs don't look good.
Can he get a finish here in round 10?
If Kaladjzic didn't lose his footing there, he probably could have forced a stoppage.
And that eye looks worse.
It is all over! Kaladjzic has finished Barrera in the 10th and final round. Bivol did it in the 12th and final round. Kaladjzic gets his 21st finish tonight.
Hopefully Sullivan's all right, man, because this is the end of a fight. Sometimes a knockout like that at the end of a fight is something you don't like to see.
Yes.
Rich, you said it would be more impressive with a finish, and he scores it. Sullivan Barrera making his way to the stool.
I'm surprised they're getting him up so fast.
Let's see how Kaladjzic finished this fight.
You know, the corner of Kaladjzic said, just throw some punches at his gloves. It's going to open things up, and that's what he did to get the finish.
Yeah, he's got 1-2 hurts him right here. He kind of falls in, and then the ropes keep him up, and unfortunately he's taking more shots. Maybe Gentile could have stepped in just a little sooner.
Well, there was a salvo about 10 seconds before this that got Barrera in trouble. And Kaladjzic actually lost his balance a little bit, which allows Barrera to survive up until that moment.
I'd send Barrera to the hospital for observation.
Yeah, absolutely.
A knockout like that is, again, because it's in the 10th round, and
he's got to go for the eye either way. But also, yeah, I think like you said, taking that many punches at 42 years old, going down that way.
And here's a recap, you know. And there's the lead hand of Kaladjzic was pretty much the story that gave him the advantage throughout the fight. I think in round 2 we saw the counter right hand right there. That was the counter right hand that started the problems for Sullivan Barrera's eye. He did land an overhand right after that. But of course, from that point on, it was Barrera's eye that was swollen. There's a big right hand in round 3. Sullivan had landed the right hand in the second round, so he kept looking for the overhand right a few rounds later. But of course, same round, a little counter right hand again. So the same success rate that they were having. Barrera with the overhand right and Kaladjzic with the counter right hand.
Yeah, I mean, and Barrera early on was just dangerous enough to make Kaladjzic be careful, work behind the jab, and use that movement, which actually in turn allowed or caused Barrera to take a lot more punishment, because Kaladjzic just got behind that jab, was touching up that damaged right eye, was putting his punches together more and more as he got comfortable. His corner called for him to let his hands go, hit him on the gloves, make the openings appear, and get the finish, and that's exactly what he did.
And Sullivan hit his head on the ground there too. Luckily, Massimo Antonini, the referee, caught him outside the ring apron.
Sullivan finished in the 10th and final round. These two guys have been friends for a long time. Kalajdzic with the knockout. Here's Jim Sorensen.
Ladies and gentlemen, at 2 minutes, 31 seconds of the 10th round, these two warriors have come to a finish. With your winner, by knockout and still WBA Continental light heavyweight champion, Radivoje Hot Rod Kalajdzic.
Couple of rounds ago, Chris, I asked you, is this a step up? Is this a better performance? And you said, well, it would be perfect if he could get a finish, and he did it with 29 seconds left in the fight.
Yeah, no, he showed improvement tonight. He got behind that left jab. He made himself a difficult target, and he was able to put his punches together. He did a really good job listening to his corner. His corner had great instruction all night long. The eye was damaged early. They said, get behind that jab. Keep it simple. They said, keep it basic. And that's what he did. He kept it basic behind that educated lead hand. And when the opportunity presented itself in the 10th round, he went for it and got the finish. Yes, this is a very impressive performance from Kalajdzic.
Bivol did it at 1:41 of the 12th and final round. And Kalajdzic does it at 2:31 of the 10th and final round. And now he can be a very interested and active spectator June 1st when Bivol and Beterbiev meet in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I think the entire upper echelon of the light heavyweight division is going to be interested at that point.
Yeah, he won't be the only one.
But now here's the thing, Goldie. You know, he had sort of a disinterested win a few months back, right? Well, about 6 months ago.
Yeah, Mickey Ellison.
Now you get the win with it, and it was sort of seemed like a disinterested win tonight too. He was on his way to doing that again, where it was, you know, it was elementary, so to speak. But that highlight reel knockout right there sort of pushes that momentum.
Right.
Now you can sort of discuss Hot Rod a little bit more in the light heavyweight title picture. Listen, this was a fight between two contenders. We know Sullivan was out of the ring for a little while, but this is a guy who's been in tough, and he's been a perennial world level contender. He was a little older. Hot Rod got rid of him in the way he was supposed to get rid of him. Again, or maybe earlier in the fight it was a little bit disinterested, but could this be the end for Barrera after such an impressive knockout by Hot Rod?
After almost 3 years, 42.
Yes, and Sullivan's letting us know, man. It's been 3 years. I'm 42.
Yeah.
And he's happy for the opportunity, but this is one of those times where you sort of start to look out for the health of fighters.
Yeah.
And you hope that, you know, from a personal opinion, I'd rather not see Sullivan Barrera fighting again.
Well, and after the knockout and the way it looked and the way he went down, it's nice that he comes up, shakes our hand, says, I'm 42, I was out a while, but he seems to be okay.
Yeah, it's good to see that he's got his wherewithal about him. He's able to actually walk out of the ring himself. Right. I was surprised that he got up so quickly from that hellacious knockdown, but no, it's a good sign that he's up, walking around, and is with it enough to tell us, you know, what the issue was.
Kalajdzic has utilized our platform, ProBox TV, right down the road from his home in St. Petersburg, Florida, to get back on the bike against Ellison, like you said, Paulie, but to really make a statement here tonight. That's the beauty of what we have here, 365, 24/7 on your boxing channel.
And that's the thing about boxing, man. A nice knockout like this can be like a grand slam, where all of a sudden, you know, you change the momentum that much faster. You know, again, this was a fight he was on his way to winning, but that kind of knockout now against a guy like Sullivan Barrera, who, again, maybe passes this prime, but still Sullivan Barrera.
Still a name.
And still a big name. Now you sort of speed up that momentum. You sort of speed up that momentum in the conversation. And with Bivol and Beterbiev getting in the ring and fighting each other soon, I'd say Hot Rod is in the conversation now. The second half of the year will be interesting for the light heavyweight division because a lot of changing could happen after that fight.
I agree, but if he had cruised to a decision the way it looked like he was going to, I don't think he's in that conversation. To your point, with that knockout, that spectacular grand slam of a KO, now it's worth talking about.
It definitely is. We said at the top of the show, a lot of boxers would have had titles if Beterbiev and Bivol weren't at the top. A lot of golfers would have been there without Tiger Woods, but man, what a performance tonight by Hot Rod. Back in 2 weeks here at our world headquarters main event, 10-round lightweight matchup. The Puerto Rican Joseph Adorno, who has finished 15 of his 18 wins, against the former WBA featherweight world champion, the Jamaican Nicklaus Walters. And Jesus Sriracho returns to ProBox TV, where he handed Cesar Francis his first career defeat. His opponent will be 18-1-1 Starling Castillo. 4 fights tonight. Kelvin Davis remains unbeaten as a pro, and here on ProBox TV. What a performance in the co-main event by Nicklaus Flaz, and a highlight reel knockout in our main event of the evening. For our powerful partners, Paulie Malignaggi, Chris Algieri, Mike Goldberg, saying so long until next time. We see you right back here on ProBox TV.